Tabaxi Monk, because I love the idea of cat people,
Dude,
and
yeah. Hell
the
yeah, me too.
I'm really looking forward to this sort of drunken master monk, or a bugbear monk. Be cool.
Hmm.
And then both of those like still they have similar hooks where like they're weird races where I don't like. I'd probably play them both. Well, similar. Like the cat person one is, um, like adopted or something. Found by this order, and they raised her as their own. And then she, I think, finds another Tabaxi or something, and decides to try to make a name for herself, get some money to start a monastic order of her own as like a rescue, like a cat rescue.
You know what's crazy about like each of your ideas is that like each one of them could potentially work for any one of our characters. Like if Casey picks a bard, a Tabaxi bard, and you play a Tabaxi
Tabaxi.
monk,
Yeah.
like you have a connection there. If you play a dwarf barbarian, you have a connection with
Mm-mm.
Bronzebeard. If you play the bugbear, like maybe yours and Kyle's
Y-
Goliath are like constantly trying to compete of who
Yeah.
One
can
up,
who can do.
one-upsmanship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. So it's
uh,
like everything that you do is like trying to. Oh, great! Here they go again. That's just fucking great. Yeah, walk across the fucking rickety bridge. Go ahead.
I remember. I know
I'll go
Bugwell's
first.
bears well. I remember Peck gave a bugbear an enema with his cockswain.
He did.
Yeah, yeah.
Man.
Put it
Yeah.
right through a door.
Yeah.
Um. Well, all right. So I mean, all of those ideas out there, I still think feel like some association with either this Order of the Gauntlet or the Harpers would make sense. Like the Harpers definitely have that secret spy organization free spirit vibe that like Casey's idea of the Tabaxi bard and maybe even the Tabaxi monk, like maybe upon leaving life at sea or whatever with Peck and whoever, you found some sort of unified front with these people. It's the same thing Sister Grail was
Is,
part of.
Wait, who
is
are the Harpers?
Uh,
that's who Sister Grail and
yeah,
Belladora
Beldor,
up in
yeah.
the
Yeah.
north.
yeah.
But does so I kind of know a little bit about what Casey's thinking. Casey, are you just for everybody else? Are you still thinking Bard?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you want me to tell you my story?
I love it.
Uh, so I don't really have a name picked out. I have a few names picked out. I'm thinking I'm gonna do Tabaxi. If I do Bard, I'm gonna do Tabaxi, and I like the way that they get named. So I wrote a bunch of names out, and I haven't really settled on one just quite yet. Luck of the Draw, which I really like because Tabaxis have really interesting names that are based off of their history and the world that they live before they're given their name. So Luck of the Draw was one, so his name would be Lucky, or the other one I said to Dave later, what I thought was really good was what the hell was it? Let me see if I can find it. Thunder Down Under. So his name is Thunder. Because a lot of his abilities are gonna be based off of I'm gonna have some thunder abilities. Um, so his weapon is gonna be a whip, and his backstory is we'll call him Thunder for now. Thunder was taken from his parents by pirates of the Shadow Thieves when they pillaged his town and enslaved all the Tabaxi warriors of his town when he was just a small kitten. He kept hearing that they made a deal with cloth, but he could never hear the reason beyond that. He was a slave on a boat with a small halfling having been a stowaway by the name of Peck. They were both very young. After being enslaved for some time on the ship, the small halfling helped Tabaxi escape by using his small hands to tie knots to the pirate slaver Nax's Thunder, a Kenku that loved to watch life suffer at his very hands, especially after losing his own wings to his own. I think it's a disease that they have. Why Kenkus don't have wings? I can't remember.
Mm.
Um, so I was gonna have it be like that's kind of where the bond between Peck and this Tabaxi start is that he kind of helps him escape from the slaver ship, and then wind up killing this Kenku. So both Peck and Thunder were caught by the captain of the dreaded pirate vessel, the Dragon Plunder, Captain Calico Blackbeard. After slaying the Kenku slaver, he saw something in the two of them: a ruthless ferocity, a love for plunder and adventure, and he brought them up as his own and taught them how to pirate real hard. Um, Thunder found a passion for sound and music and inspiring the men around him to push past their normal limits. And the pirate Peck obviously loved this because he loves hearing more tales being sung about himself. The stories of the two of them abound amongst the pirating circles, and they became thick as thieves. Captain Calico, on his deathbed, sent Lucky to a bard college to undergo formal training while sending Peck to the Thieves Guild with highest honors to captain his own ship. Since being at the college, he caught wind of Peck's ship's mutiny, and that he had somehow survived. And what made his ears really perk up is when he heard Peck's involvement with Cloth the Dragon. He left his college before finishing his training to find Peck and perhaps get his vengeance against the dragon that destroyed his village and disrupted the life of his family and his people. So that's what I was thinking.
And where were they captured?
I don't know the town yet. I haven't figured that part out. Oh,
Down Under?
yeah, exactly, yeah. Peck's a stowaway from my initial story. He was a stowaway on a ship because I don't remember why.
Why did he split up with Peck?
Because
He got sent to the Bard College.
the
Yeah.
captain that they both studied under on his own natural cause deathbed took his plunder and sent him to the Bard College because he treated them like his own kids. And then he put Peck he sent him to the Thieves Guild with all the accolades and recommendations to captain his own ship, which is why Peck got his ship. And that's why they separated.
Okay.
The whip that he has as a weapon was from the slaver that used to crack it over him, the Kenku bird that I was talking about, whose name was Naxxas Thunder, which is why I got the name Thunder and why I'm going to get spells that are consistent with Thunder abilities. So the whip to him, he calls it Naxxas Thunder because it's the name of the slaver that used to whip him with it.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
And
The
then
crack
he's
of this
gonna
whip.
get his revenge with Naxxas Thunder.
Yeah, the crack of this whip still sends shivers down the spine, but strikes fear into the heart. Still sends shivers down his own spine, but strikes fear into the hearts of those on the other side.
But like it.
Oftentimes, material objects lose their allure with tabaxis once they understand how they work. But the sentimental item and the sound that it makes when it cracks reminds him of the waves on a rocky shore, or the roaring thunder overhead, or even the crack of his old master.
Oh shit. I like it.
I feel
I'm sold.
like many bards are become aware of, or most probably even become members of the Harpers.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to read. I pasted it just so you can follow along, but I want
Okay.
to read some tenets from the Harper Code. And the Harpers have like disappeared and been reformed like many different times, which is in this factions and groups section of the OneNote. So I would say recently, near the town of Bird Dusk and some of the others, this guy that I mentioned to you, Klug, this half-elf monk who is going to be going to this town, is definitely one of these prominent members of this group of Harpers. But Harper Code: Harpers work against villainy and wickedness wherever they find it, but they work ever mindful of the consequences of what they do. All beings should walk free of fear, with the right to live their lives as they wish. The rule of law aids peace and fosters freedom so long as the laws are just and those who enforce them lenient and understanding. No extreme is good. For freedom to flourish, all must be in balance. The powers of the realms, the reaches of the cities, and the wilder lands into each other, and the influence of one being over another. Whatever it takes, a Harper will do. Pride never rules the deeds of a true Harper. Freedom is a multiversal right, though Harpers can spare themselves less freedom than those they work to protect when the need presents itself. Harpers police their own. A Harper who hears the call of personal power can no longer hear the sweet song of the harp. A Harper who seizes power and holds it above all else is a traitor to the harp. Traitors must die for freedom to live. Without a past, no being can appreciate what they have and where they may be going.
Wait, read that part about what causes them to die.
If they so basically it says a Harper's police their own. A Harper who hears the call of personal power can no longer hear the sweet song of the harp. A harper
Oh, okay.
who seizes power and holds it above all else is a traitor to the harp, and traitors must die for freedom
All right.
to live.
So everyone's equal, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about the yin and yang of the multiverse, basically. Like they believe in the law of the land above like the law of the government. Like if a government's abusing their power or whatever, they're more interested in the small the small folks sort of being taken care of. The Order of the Gauntlet, I mean, could be more to the theme of the Goliath you were talking of.
Well, I don't know, man. I was just thinking, like, the Goliath doesn't care who is in power as long as the person who's in power is the best suited for it.
Well, they are definitely more of like a knighthood kind of, or like a bunch of fighters. I mean, not that the Harpers don't have that, but the Harpers typically are a bit secretive, which I don't know if that lends itself to you. And
That
I'm
does
almost
not.
wondering, I will describe the Order of the Gauntlet a little bit right now, but I'm almost
Okay.
wondering if like our adventuring party is somehow like maybe representatives from both factions, because both the guy from the Harpers that we'll come to know and the guy who sort of started this Order of the Gauntlet have sort of allied with each other and formed a union sort of in light of a lot of the current events with the cult of the dragon and other strange things that have been going on. So it wouldn't be unsurprising for both of them to have sent representatives to this town of Greenest that we'll be starting in.
I mean,
I like that name, by the way.
Based off the intel, that they have about the cult right now.
that lends some interesting like group conflict
Yeah.
potentially. That's
Healthy
not-
conflict.
Yeah, healthy conflict. That's not like polar.
Good
opposite
story conflict.
Yeah.
All right, so marinate on that for a minute. Order of the Gauntlet, and again, like all of this stuff is in the factions and groups section.
At
so-
D&D A2.
Yeah. So this order was destroyed entirely to destroy evil in the world at large. Very, very paladin sort of mentality on the fighting side of that paladin angle. Its core members typically are clerics and paladins.
Perfect.
And the most common sort of gods that they follow are the faiths of Tyr, Helm, Torm, and Hor. Hoar. I think it's pronounced Hor.
And that's the god of forgery, right? No?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
The god
I'm
of
sure
pleasure.
you could throw Moradin in there. Any sort of you'd be right there with them.
Perfect.
Members of this order tend to be staunch comrades, never failing to trust in each other completely. Clerics and paladins in the order striving for excellence in everything that they do, like crafting things,
Oh, yes.
and definitely not afraid
Okay.
to fight evil.
oh, yeah.
It's very
that's me.
uncommon to see a lone member of the order, as they almost always traveled in groups and kept a close eye on any potential threats and stood ready to stop any aggression. So very much kind of like a knighthood. Now, again, you don't have to use this. I'm just trying to describe some of the sort of more prominent factions that'll be a part of this
Oh,
story.
yeah. Bronzebeard is definitely one of
and
these
like
guys.
not all, like we could have some of you be connected and some of you not.
No, I like the. I feel like dwarves are pretty black and white.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Could see
Order
that.
of the Gauntlet definitely makes a lot of sense for Bronzebeard. So,
See, what's interesting is because tabaxis they get bored easily once they understand how something works. Like, for instance, with material objects especially, they were saying they could steal this gem that they wanted to get. They'll spend months of planning, and they'll plan, and then they'll steal the gem, and then they'll just trade it. They'll pawn it off for like a night at a
They'll
hotel.
throw it
'Cause
out,
they just don't. They're cats. They don't fucking care anymore. Their hunting is done. They don't care.
A wooby the
I
size of a
love-
tangerine.
The
I
hunt
love
is the
that
most important
idea.
part.
As far as like thinking of Peck as Calvin and Hobbes, it's like I don't want this anymore. And Peck is like this greedy motherfucker. It's like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? That's why they really get along, because he's like everything he pockets he doesn't want anymore, and then Peck's like, I'll take it. Like that's
I
really
like that.
growing up.
I like that.
I think the
I'll
Knights
do
of
more
the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. Sorry.
No, sorry. I'll have to read more about both of them.
The gauntlets kind of line up with Gra in that it's excellence over everything, but he does not give a shit about like the hierarchy or anything.
Yeah. Well, he could definitely
Yeah.
be like the Ron Swanson angle, right? And I'd say both of these factions are very much in active recruitment, in purely just to keep up with what they believe is the cult of the dragon, actively recruiting, and these growing threats that they're trying to prepare for. Um, one thing. One thing I'll say at large, like maybe I should circle back to a few topics here for tonight. And Klug and I talked about it briefly, but I have my own ideas, but I'm very much open to discussion on how commonplace we want, magic and the extraordinary to be. In the sense of like, could you go to a rinky-dink village and really expect to find, healing potions? Maybe there's only a small chance that someone would have that. Or would you have to go to like larger villages or like a bigger city to really be able to find like people where there was an actual economy for like magic items and potions and things like that?
No, I mean I like that because the scarcity makes it a little more interesting. Like I don't want to be able to go to any old village and be like, oh, okay, now we can fully restock everything that we will ever need ever. Like that's not interesting to me. I would rather us like, hey, I mean, we kind of have to go on a little mini quest, a side quest to go get like especially
Yeah.
Bronzebeard will be all about getting materials. So if he can't get it in these tiny little places, he'll want to go to big hubs kind of thing. So I think that's interesting, but that's my take.
I agree. Gra hates the advantage, whether it be money or potions. Like he just wants to be the best that his body can like possibly do. He doesn't want advantages.
Okay. I mean, we can talk about this out of character. Really, I'm just more interested
This-
like as a player.
Yeah. So as a player, totally out of character, I like more magic items. I think magic items bring a lot of. I think they bring the magic basically brings all the interest to the world, whereas everything else is just super mundane anyway. I'm not saying like we should have like a +5 Holy Avenger available in like the pawn shop of like the most podunk town, but
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go to a major like the fucking capital city just to buy a healing potion. Like I
No.
feel like
No.
that
Yeah.
is retardedly the
I
other
think
way.
I think a good happy medium
Agreed.
is there are places in the world where you can, find all kinds of amazing like trade hubs and crazy ornate rare things. So we can say that stuff is in the world and the potential to add them into the game is very real. But like I think maybe there's like a gradient in terms of like, yeah, there will be some areas where you'll be maybe a little bit far away from a place where you could just go stock up on like every
Yeah.
potion or thing that you need ever. But I also think we could do a lot of hand waving time montage type stuff too. Like, okay, well, we're gonna, we need to go on this big sort of expedition, so we're gonna part of our preparation's going to be going here, supplying up and getting these certain things before we go off, and we could kind of just fast forward a lot of that
Yeah,
sort of
as
stuff.
long as we can fast forward through that shit.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to spend time having a stock. Like I don't want to have to go on a side
No,
quest
no.
just to get a magic item. Like that's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and who
Too
knows? We
much.
might. I mean, like, there's
That's not
sometimes
the interesting part of the story.
there'll be times where like maybe there's an interesting reason to go to those places and make you play it out. But I think a lot of that stuff we'd probably even get into the rhythm of just like talking like between games or whatever about some stuff,
Yeah.
and then like just having like a quick recap of what
I mean-
happened during that little slice of montage time.
Yeah.
I think if we end up doing like a side quest like that, there would be like 3 or 4 separate side quests that all kind of lead us to that one place. Like I don't imagine like one side quest being like, oh, okay, we're gonna go here and do all this stuff. It's like, I don't know, whenever I'm playing games, it's like okay, I need to go to this area for these 8 quests that I have,
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense for me.
Yeah, but you don't want to spend like a whole gaming night just talking to shopkeepers and stuff.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
Trying to find a place where you can buy.
No, there would have
plus
to
one
be
shield.
there'd have to be a good reason for it. I wouldn't say it will never happen, but I think for the most part it's very unlikely.
Cool.
Uh,
I'm
That's
trying to think of a way to like cut out all the uninteresting parts,
yeah.
or
I'm
like
with
some
you.
of the mundane stuff. And my experience like in campaigns where like magic is like super rare, like no one gets a magic item till like level 10 or something. It's just like, oh man, there's so like if you just look at the list of magic items, there's so many like unique and like quirky things that you can get a hold of that
I'm into
just
it.
change the way the world works, and it make things more interesting. And
So
I don't know.
my character definitely wants to make a lot of those items for you guys. Like
But
that's a big thing.
if we end up having like a campaign in which like, oh yeah, for you to make one of those items, it's gonna take like 5 sessions and all your fortune, and it's like it ends up being some mundane shitty thing. Is that really exciting? Like, are you loving playing that character?
You made
No.
a fork.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, like say you want to make a cloak of billowing, where it's just like this is straight up aesthetic, and does it take you like a year?
No,
Like
it takes me 25 gold pieces a day. It'll be 100 gold pieces to make a common item. It'll take me about 4 solid days, 8-hour days to make you a common magical item.
A
Right.
bronze fork.
It's not bad.
right, and that's fair. Like I just
Yeah.
you want it to
So-
be interesting. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing.
I
is,
agree.
like, I definitely want to craft shit for everybody, and I don't think that all of the rewards should be like, oh hey, you Bronzebeard gets to craft you an item. Like, that's not fun. But I want it to be like, oh hey, I noticed you need this, and like, or
It's
hey,
a-
let me see that real quick. I'm gonna just make a modification,
right, yeah.
like that kind of thing. I think that would be fun.
What's a good segue into sort of larger big picture talk? I've already kind of like typed up a tirade about it all, and I think we're all sort of on the page anyway, but I'll kind of recap a
Can I
bit.
ask a small question before we go to big picture stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a quirk for my character. I want his tail to always portray his inner thoughts.
Oh yeah.
So
Telegraph all the inner
That's
thoughts.
awesome.
I wasn't sure how.
You're a terrible
like,
liar.
Do I tell you that stuff and then like I roll for it? Or how is it a roll? Is it a like how do we play that out when time comes?
It might just be. I mean, I think there'll be times where we try to play it out, but it might also be like when you're trying to like deceive someone or something, and they're doing an insight check against your deception. If they win, for me a lot of times it's just using like you've just given me a new toy for flavor text basically.
Okay.
Like when that check fails, I'm like I would maybe describe it in a way like
Cool.
like seeing your tail flick, you can tell this guy's caught on to like some of your tics or whatever, your mannerisms, and it's
Okay.
kind of reading you like a book right now.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think at the core of it all, that's probably how I would use it, but it could be an interesting thing to like incorporate in more interactive ways at times too.
There might be moments where I can be like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, but this is where I'm torn between, and then we can figure it out from
Yeah.
there.
Well, like
Okay.
that's why like this stuff like flawed characters and just like the more you give me, the more I can give back in terms of like keeping things interesting and I'll get into more on that, but in terms
we
of like
Oh, I'm sorry.
you need 5?
Yeah, just 5
Yeah,
minutes real quick.
sure.
Cool. I'll be right back.
That's cool.
Wait, Casey, what are you referring to?
With the backseat,
Just
I'm gonna have
having
it so
some
that
tail.
so when he has thoughts and he's thinking about what he wants to do, or he's like, man, we should go this way. I want his tail to think the opposite. I want his tail to be like, no, we're going this way, and then be like,
Oh, like barf.
oh. Yeah, I want to have conversations with his tail. So it's like, no, we're not gonna do that. Like, I want him to talk to himself and be like, well, who are you talking to? Oh, nothing. It's not a big deal. Like, I want him to talk to his tail sometimes when his tail's telling him to do otherwise.
Oh,
That's right, that was my thought.
in Fantasy Grounds, if you guys nuked your thing or just in general, you might have to go to that library thing. I'm showing it on my
right.
screen share.
That's right.
And go to modules
Oh, fuck.
and actually load the player handbook stuff.
I did not nuke it. I forgot to. I updated
It's, I mean,
it.
it's fine if you didn't. It's fine if you didn't. But I just figured fresh start, clean that shit out.
Load.
What's
And
it
then
order if you want to do it?
library and then modules.
How do you
Library.
get to oh, bottom right.
Bottom
Yeah,
right.
library.
Modules.
Load. And then load the PHP.
Oh, and then it's got to take a while to load. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like downloading all the 5th edition stuff. And then while you're in library, for now, you might want to hit this little button up top that says all. It just turns on all of the side buttons. And you can kind of get all game interface Maya-like later, and you can actually turn
Yeah.
ones off that you don't use. But while we're making characters and stuff, it'll be good just to have everything up.
Cool.
Holy shit, I don't even Jules?
It's in the bottom
Oh,
left.
bottom left of the library
Oh,
window.
that's right. That's right. I have to open this book.
Yeah.
You can just click load now. They've updated it.
Oh, I kind of miss.
You
the
still
speed
can.
button.
You still can.
Okay, good. As long as I can still do that. Hi, dog.
Cool.
I have an animal who is like dead next to me, and she won't fucking move.
Oh yeah.
See, check this out. I just go like this. Wake up. Okay. No, seriously, you should get up now.
Aw,
Okay.
Foxy.
Oh.
All right, I'm back.
Old and sleepy.
Awesome.
All right. Well, since you're
Big
back.
dummy.
That's all right.
Aww.
Small move.
Like, fuck it, it's good.
All right, so
Good doggy.
I think we're all kind of on the right direction right now. So it's kind of a moot point, but I'm just going to recap anyway. So big picture stuff was kind of trying to come at this as a very long campaign where we put story first kind of approach. And with that, I think comes like us trying to design and plan characters who really fit the bill. You know, like if this was a movie or a show, like having characters who you'd be able to write into every episode with reason and purpose, right? You know, it wouldn't be a struggle. And not only that, but like I say, story first in the sense that, you know, there might be a time in the story where it makes sense for your character to do some sort of like heroic sacrifice or to leave the party, and that can be a very real normal thing, right? You would just fold in like a different character with some other purpose or reason for now being a part of the story. So
That really ever happened though? Do people just say like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave?
yeah, or like maybe
Hush did it.
they fucking, you know, fight to the death so that their party members can flee in time, or you know,
Well, yeah,
like
yeah, like,
stand
I can see
back
that.
on the ship so that, you know, and go down with it. Who knows?
But there would never be a point where like Brugard was like, "Hey guys, I'm just not feeling it." Like, see,
Well, I mean, like in terms of story, like maybe
Hush did
maybe there is a real fork in the road in terms of like doing one thing or another, and
I mean, Palandor would die for something.
yeah.
well, yeah, like Ace would die for sure, but
Yeah, I think Ace and Palandor would both be like, fuck
For
it.
very different reasons.
yeah.
Yeah,
Heck would
so
be like, good luck, boys.
it doesn't have to be what you do. I'm just saying, you know, like think about it in terms of us collectively telling this very story that we're going to try to keep as interesting as possible, right? So, you know, don't rule it out where maybe like a heroic death or departing for some other reason, so that some other character who you think would really serve this next arc could have a chance to, like, you know, be played by you. And we talked about it a little bit before, but I really love the idea of our old characters once the two story paths sort of crossroads and sort of get up to speed in the same time period. I love the idea that, you know, there could be encounters or dungeons or things where we need multiple playable characters, and we sort of maybe switch scenes from time to time or jump around, and that could be old characters, new characters, characters you haven't thought of yet. Who knows?
Wait, didn't? Okay, so before you were saying that we were like flashing forward into the future.
I was sort
we-
of playing around with timelines. It's
Okay.
settled on like where we're going to be starting. This is probably a little bit before where the other game started back in Neverwinter when they first took their job to go to Phandalin.
Okay, so it's the same.
It's
like,
the
parallel
same
timeline.
world. It's the same world. We're just in a different part of it with different characters focused on some different groups.
Are we also focused on totally different? Like, is different things happening in the world, or are we ultimately trying to do the same Dragon quests from before?
No. So this is going to. There might be some crossover, but you will become aware of things that your other characters experience probably.
Klug, if this helps, I wrote my backstory for my character because I don't know at level 7 which one I'm going to want to play. And I was hoping, if need be, I could switch. If I was like, I don't like this bard, I want to go back to playing rogue.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I run into my character as friends with my other characters, so I can just switch back. Or switch accordingly.
Which is
Maybe we go on a
valid.
quest.
Yeah.
Maybe we go on a quest and we need a bard and we don't need a rogue, and I can kind of interchange accordingly.
Yeah, it's kind of cool being able to like switch out for whatever quest it is. Be like, oh hey, we don't need a cleric, we need a paladin, or hey, we need a sorcerer for this. Like that's a pretty cool idea.
I was
think.
kind of hoping for something like that. I don't know if that will work, but
I
that's
think
why
it's totally plausible.
That's why I wrote like a backstory like I did, that where they knew each other, their paths had already crossed.
Yeah, I like that.
That
Okay.
helps.
Well, yeah. So in terms of like world timeline, we're gonna be starting. Let me pull up the map here. Ooh,
Like, are we starting when our other characters are level 1?
Yeah, we're going back in time in terms of game world time to where we just were. Let's see.
Don't give me that look, Foxy. Don't judge me. Drink a Guinness. Don't look at me like that. This is
You
delicious
drink
beer.
a Guinness, bitch.
This is my beer, and I'm not gonna give it to you.
Aw.
Come here. Fine, fuck you. You're too lazy.
Let's see if there's any spoilers on here.
Yeah, this is how much she's
Think
moving
so.
around.
Aw, she's so
Foxy.
tired.
Foxy, come here.
I don't even care anymore.
Come on, Foxy. Come here.
Yo, you talking to me?
Hey, come here. Can I have kisses or something?
Anything.
Come here, just give me a kiss. Just. Oh, thank you.
Aw.
Can you guys see in Fantasy
Hey, your
Grounds
little head.
the map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I see
damn.
greenest.
We're like far south, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now we get to travel south.
the biggest place is Greenest is a very, very small thing. You're kind of nestled between like some mountain pass to the south, which leads to where a lot of sort of the roots of the Shadow Thieves are. Right now, Greenest is kind of like smack in this little middle region between the coast where Baraghost and Candlekeep are. To the northwest, not too far, is the very, very large city of Baldur's Gate. And then to the east of you is a pathway around the Sunset Mountains where Bear Dusk is probably like the closest.
Oh, I know the Sunset Mountains.
So
that's
where I'm from.
you can see if we
Me
go
too.
way back up here.
I'm from the very, very
We
top.
originally started near Neverwinter in the Neverwinter Woods and headed down the high road to the south. And we were...
Whoa, I don't see you. Oh, okay.
Should I be looking at Fantasy Grounds or should I be looking at
Fantasy
Grounds?
Grounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, we're way south. We don't even give a fuck about where we were before.
Yeah, so...
I'm so
Yeah.
glad we're starting south, by the way. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, me too.
I want to explore everything about the Sword Coast, the coast, and then I want to go inland.
Great.
And I want to see everything inland.
Yeah,
so-
this isn't even like close to a favor, and it's just a tiny slice, this map.
Wait, if you're
life-
from the Sunset Mountains too, that means we're almost like half. We're like cousins.
Hey, and if we're in the same faction, that's it's a joining point for me personally.
Sounds
but-
good to me, brother.
But how big are the Sunset Mountains? Is that like saying you're from LA?
They're gigantic. Shut
Pretty.
your mouth.
Pretty big.
So
Right.
if we're going to Greenest.
I'm from the best part.
Yeah, right below the bestest part.
Or is that saying like you're from California?
I mean,
California, you know each other. Like,
I'm
Oh,
from
by the way.
I'm from the highest peak of that mountain.
I also want you to know that anytime Mike Tabaxi is happy, he's gonna purr. So expect that
Oh shit,
to be happening. It's gonna happen.
Alright.
that's therapeutic
Nice.
for cats.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say when I'm happy. I'm just gonna do that so you know.
Perfect. I love it.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of the next sort of bullet points I wanted to bring up beyond like this whole story first approach, right? Is well, actually, I'll do a quick aside. Like the one thing I was gonna bring up later that I might as well talk about now, since we're talking about multiple characters, is lethality.
You're gonna die,
like
bitches.
the training wheels are very much off. I don't really feel like I pulled any punches before, but this is definitely going to be a slightly more challenging and hardcore version of D&D, just in the
Right.
sense of there will be a lot of challenging things. There will be things that you maybe are unable to win that are put in front of you. So slightly harder mode is going to be activated. There's a
Right now?
good chance your character dies.
It's good. It's good.
There's
to
a
have some
good chance
support.
that a TPK could happen. It's definitely not an impossible scenario.
That can happen.
Biddy, I'm not gonna lie, you're almost TPK'd us before.
To be fair,
Yeah.
Palandor almost died with that breath attack from the first dragon that we ever.
Which was
Yep.
a baby
fought,
dragon.
Yep, and
Yeah.
Ace was
Which-
meant to die so many times.
which was
Yeah.
laughable. in
There
terms
are
of-
going to be adult dragons in your future.
Okay.
Ew.
Not young baby dragons.
I mean, so
Ugh.
are you catering this towards a 4-man party or?
I
do you
am.
f- Okay.
Yes. But with that, you're talking about like a nice edge. Like it's going to, there's going to be times where you have to think about something, or you have to act and hope that the luck of your god is behind you.
I have
So-
something for that.
That circles a little bit back into the story first idea, right? Like if that scenario does happen, I don't want you to be devastated or frustrated so much as we have other members of these factions who are ready to step
Take up
in.
arms.
Yeah, exactly. And like
Mm.
it would very much become part of the story in an interesting way, I think. But
To be fair,
as long as everyone is okay with that, that's what's happening. But I just want to put it out there.
Okay.
I mean-
I'm clicking. I'm checkboxing the hardcore mode right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which
To be fair.
means roll up a character and then roll up a backup character.
That's why I'm glad a
just
lot
in
of you have a
case.
few ideas you like.
No, I mean, to be fair though, like just the fact that we're switching kind of mid-campaign with our other ones,
Yeah.
that's actually helped me a lot personally
Helped
because
you let go
I
a little bit.
I really liked Palandor,
Yeah.
and I would still love to play him again at some point, but
I was
switching
hoping
it
that
up.
would be a good positive side effect.
no, it is.
Of
It
this,
totally
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It makes it feel a little more Games of Thrones-y, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel the same. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're-
And I
like,
mean,
book-
interestingly enough, without like giving anything away in too much detail, you kind of going back to the very first thing. Like this is the same game world. A lot of the same events that you were experiencing in your other characters are going to be happening in the world, just maybe not directly affecting you right away.
I can't wait to sing songs of Peck's Glory again.
I can't wait to hear them.
In terms of
Difficult,
experience,
good.
I was kind of on the fence between just simple milestone-based XP versus actual XP. And actual XP is kind of like more hardcore, old-school way. We were doing it a little bit way back. And the only real benefit to that for me is, I think there's pros and cons for both. The benefit to like a hardcore, like, oh, you get this much XP or you don't, is, it allows you to sort of grade performance in a way. Like if you procured the item but had to murder the entire village to do so, like maybe
What's the cost?
Yeah, exactly. But after reading through a ton of stuff, I think I probably will stick to milestone with a little bit of actual XP sort of sprinkled in.
I mean,
I think I'm kind of do a hybrid, right? Like I think I will take the idea of grading performance a little bit, and not like in a stingy trying to make things not fun way, but like just more to that example of like if you botch the job over and over again, how much did you learn from the experience kind of thing, right? Because it's
I mean,
Is
did
that on
say
a party level?
hardcore.
yeah.
Or an individual level?
I mean, you did say
did say
hardcore, so
hardcore,
like at
yeah.
what point are we committed to hardcore, and at
Yeah.
what point are we if we're taking the training wheels off, Fitty? Part of me
Okay,
feels like
I want to say something about that. If
Do
you're
that's
going
why I'm bringing it up. Yeah.
Training characters, is this training? When you're saying performance and stuff, are you grading the performance of the player? or
That's
the
what I was asking.
character?
No, it's the character. Yeah, really. It's
So-
it's like if your mission was to rescue a bunch of people and only 25% of them were brought back alive. It's kind
I feel
of
like, but personally, like I feel like that motivates us in a really strong way to, kind of pay attention to some of those details a little bit better. I kind of like the idea of being graded on how well. Granted, like I mean, I'm thinking about Glass Staff. We kind of sort of fucked that entire thing really, really badly. I don't know. Hardcore.
Which one
Now-
was last stuff?
I don't think you were around yet.
You weren't around
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Dude, Fiddy,
Yeah.
we're talking about to add the Klug's question of like, is it character or player based? Is it individual based experience, or are we doing party based experience, or how does that work?
I feel like it should be party, but
It's
I feel like
it's
so- I feel like
party.
that
It's
too.
party.
Yeah, I like
I think
party.
because I think let's have two themes here, right? Let's have story first and team based as two of our main themes. Because I think with this particular new campaign, I think they need to be like the driving forces behind it.
I agree.
And so we can come back to that, but yeah, I mean maybe we do hardcore and it's party based XP, but maybe it is not milestone based, meaning like you dragged yourself across the finish line. You're level 8. Congrats. Maybe it
Yeah.
is. Let's try it. Well, we can try a more old school numbers based XP reward system initially, and we'll keep the topic open going forward.
I mean, I guess the one catch that I have is like I don't want it to be like, okay, you need 50 experience points before you hit.
And
Yeah,
level
yeah.
that's
6.
why I mentioned the hybrid, but maybe it'll be a hybrid that leans a bit more towards the hardcore,
Okay.
reward based system.
Yeah, I'd be
Quick,
down for
find a
that.
kobold to kill.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, oh well,
Yeah,
we're 5
yeah,
XP from leveling. Let's go murder some orcs.
Yeah, and I don't
Or-
want like a gap between like our lowest player and the highest player.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
But I
that,
mean-
that
Right,
too,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. I think we just
get this idea of
get
like,
rid of
oh,
that.
sometimes like the rogue in the party's like, you know what? While everyone's sleeping, I'm gonna go and rob some shit to earn some more XP.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
No, I don't like that.
I know. I say we definitely screw that. I think.
Definitely screwed.
Okay, well we'll go reward based, right? And then I could even have some fun in terms of like actual story side. Like let's say you are kind of close to like level 7 or something, but not like, 50 XP away or whatever, but sort of close. We could describe things in such a way as like, before you go into this next chapter or whatever, I could make it clear to you that you don't feel like you're grasping certain things, the things that you're sort of prepping on your next level, like your new abilities or whatever. And it could be like sort of like a little fun that could turn into like a one-off like little job board. Oh, you heard rumors about like this haunted cathedral or this dungeon that's overrun. Like, it could
Yeah.
we could turn it into like a mini little side quest that has some relevance in the bigger picture.
Yeah, I mean, we could do like that.
Without
the
it being
highlight
stupid.
reel.
Yeah.
I'm all about that highlight reel.
Okay.
It's like, okay, roll the. You attack all the things. Okay.
So if you open up in Fantasy Grounds or OneNote and look through backgrounds, there's a lot of stuff in there. I've mentioned it before, but there is like a special Cult of the Dragon background that it kind of talks you through, but it's basically like you can mix some of the ideas from this with.
I don't see backgrounds.
So that was one thing when I was reading through it was I feel like at least somebody in our party should have Cult of the Dragon background.
Kyle, if you missed it, so under library in the bottom right.
In Fantasy Grounds?
Yeah. Click all, and it will turn on like all the buttons for now. See all these little checked boxes? I have my screen share up. Oh wait, no, I don't.
I've got so many
No, I don't.
surprise.
What the fuck? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I did not have my screen share up. Yeah, so go to library, and then you can hit all.
So I feel like I've done this, but let's do it again.
You can
Library.
share your screen and show me
Oh,
what you're looking at.
let me. Nope, that's not it. This is you.
I like these Cult of the Dragon backgrounds. I like.
Yeah, there's a lot
You're
of
you're the grandson or granddaughter of like some dragon slaying hero, but then you just get rolled by like some muggers, and then try to lay low in the town called Crenus. Like the Cult of the Dragon appears, you're like, oh fuck, they're after me. How do they find me?
There's some good seeds in there.
sure- wait,
I have
where-
yeah.
library.
Oh yeah, you've got them all. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean backgrounds should be in there.
Mine's the
On your
first one.
right hand side. See it here?
Hold on, let me load your screen up.
You get it through
Classes,
notes? Where
backgrounds.
is it? Class.
Oh, I see. It's called backgrounds.
Yes. Yes, it is. It's
the
also
front
in
grounds.
it's also in OneNote in the D&D 5e.
Yeah, OneNote, it's way easier to find.
So yeah, this is where I
Yeah.
wanted to find it. How do I find it here?
It's in that 5e book on backgrounds after race.
Backgrounds.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Go to Cult of the Dragon.
So while you're looking at that, there's a lot of stuff in every background, and Cult of the Dragon's not a full background, right? Because it's kind of this special thing. If you
Yeah.
looked at like Folk Hero or some of the older ones that have all the different parts with the bonds and the flaws, etc. So those are all great things about, like in 5th edition, they've really added a ton of stuff to kind of sell the idea of like flawed characters, right?
Ooh, Fiddy,
mm.
could I be, if I'm, say I go like monk, could I be a Cult of the Dragon, not like an infiltrator, but someone who's actually raised within the cult, who like wakes up one day and is like, oh shit, we're the bad guys. He wants to leave.
It'd be fairly fitting, honestly, because if you did hook up with this monk that I was telling you about, he has been basically spying and tracking the cult, and maybe he like has been trying to, like getting
Like,
people
I
out
discovered-
of Scientology.
Like I discover that he's a spy, but then I don't turn him in
Yeah.
because maybe he like friended me or rescued me or something.
Maybe
and
you
he's like
were-
showing me a better way.
Maybe you were became one of his sources for a little time before it got too dangerous, and he pulled you out, and you were the one who told them that they were going to be attacking this town of Greenest or coming to
Yeah.
this place.
See, that'd be cool. Okay.
That would be
Do
cool.
that.
So yeah,
I'd be
so
a monk of the Dragon Order.
the idea is you'd be merging some of these optional features or bonds from the Cult of the Dragon into another background. But any of the other backgrounds have these personality traits, which you can have one or more of. An ideal, you usually just have like one sort of core ideal. A bond is, something that ties you to other people or to a thing, a belief, whatever, and then any number of flaws.
I
And-
noticed one thing about the Cult of the Dragon is
Mhm.
that there's no like it's a homebrew one, right? So, but it doesn't have things like proficiencies that you get or languages.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was just saying, right?
Sorry.
It's meant to be combined with a normal
Oh,
background.
Okay, got it.
If you read the very beginning, it's applies to any background that you select or create. It's meant to augment or change some of the options.
Got it.
So
okay.
like where it says optional feature Cult of the Dragon Infiltrator, like you might change out the feature of a normal background with that feature. And
I
then
see.
for the characteristics, it only has ideas for bonds, and you could use one of those bonds instead of the one from the other background.
Yeah, I love the idea of being like a scholar, but I noticed like even in regular backgrounds, there's not really a scholar.
Mm.
There's not, like it seems to be like the missing background. We're just like, what if you were just like a student of some,
I
like
think they
knowledge
have
seeker?
it under.
What if you just like to read books?
Yeah, exactly. What if you just like to read books, or you're like
There
a
it is.
natural
I thought
scientist
there
kind of thing?
was. Is it one of the sage ones?
Is that?
There is a researcher one as part of Sage, yeah. But then
Is
there was
researcher
also.
Oh, okay.
I thought there was another one that had. Hermiter.
Yeah, I guess actually Sage does it. That's funny. I didn't.
Or
see
cloistered scholar. Yeah, there you go. That's what it was. Cloistered
Cloistered
scholar.
scholar. There it is. You got it.
The
That's it.
priest child.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to do like a cloistered
Feature
scholar.
library access. Well, I mean, shit. That would cloistered scholar would have
The
some.
altar boy.
But
you,
then
you would definitely be
combine
nerding
that
out
with
about
Dragon Scholar.
about Candle Keep.
Oh boy. Just the tip.
Candle Keep's like the largest, most sacred library in the realms, I think.
Wait,
Hey.
really? You get access to that?
Well, no, it's got
Oh.
this whole little thing on how you would be able to access it. But
Hey, so
yeah.
we're also aiming to be like game ready by Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So-
Well, yeah. Let me finish a few.
Oh shit, are we Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of this kind of feeds into picking backgrounds and sort of filling out your character ideas a bit more. So look at all the backgrounds. There's the Cult of the Dragon, things that you can augment with other backgrounds. But more importantly, like try to think about background info about your character. Like, do you have friends? Are you friends with each other from childhood, recent? How do you know each other? That kind of stuff. How did you grow up? Did you have a trainer, a mentor? Were you from a specific village or a place?
What
Are
accent do
you
you
a
have?
member of a guild or a faction?
Oh,
Do
it's
you want to
Scottish.
be?
I'm a dwarf,
Do you have
aren't I?
do you have a rival? Do you have a revenge plan or plot? That kind of stuff. Do you
Dude,
have
you
a
just
life
said everything
quest?
I did.
Oh, it's
I have
ready
a
to
town
go.
that I came through. I have a vengeance story.
Perfect.
I have a
Um,
mentor.
I will say some of the themes of this campaign. There will definitely be dungeons at times. There will definitely be dragons,
Yep. Yeah.
dungeons and dragons.
And there will be death.
In
I
Dungeons
feel like
and
this is
Dragons.
perfect. This
There-
is quite literally perfect.
There will be quite a heavy parallel in both good and evil and neutral groups and factions. You already have heard of a few of them between the Harpers, Order of the Gauntlet, the Cult of the Dragon. You've already seen in our other game, you've had brief encounters, whether you know it or not, with other ones like the Red Wizards of Thay, the Zentarum, Halia Thornton, the Lord's Alliance, which is kind of like a real loose thing at this point in time, and the Emerald Enclave, which is more of like the Druid nature sort of faction. There will be at times like maybe montagey like expedition road travel with plenty of adventure along the way.
And crafting.
And plenty of crafting. Lots of opportunities for subterfuge, interrogation, information finding, and definitely the occasional trap along the way. So you might need to watch where you step depending on where you are.
I'm on it.
So just be mindful of where you're going and who might have built the place or outfitted the place for whatever reasons.
I'll show you the perfect place to step.
Yeah. So let's say in terms of time period, we're probably several months before your last set of characters started near Neverwinter. But we'll be quickly catching up to where we left off in that tale.
Alright.
Still on the Sword Coast. You can see the map where we're on the very southwestern part of the coastline, not too far from Candlekeep and Baragost. I wanted to talk real briefly. Actually, do I still have my screen share up? All right, let me just reshare. So just a couple real quick things for Fantasy Grounds, just to sort of step our game up and sort of put more on you all in terms of managing your crap.
Oh no.
You can. Here, I'll pull up like this example character sheet, and I'll even talk a little bit about character creations because we can just go right into starting to like roll stats and picking, finalizing stuff. So anything, if you look at my screen share, any of these boxes with numbers, you can usually drag the dice off,
You're not
And
screen
then-
sharing.
roll it in the chat. I'm not.
It's just your
It's
pretty
God.
your
face.
face.
Damn
Just
it.
your face.
That's beautiful.
All right, so
That's
again,
how you screen share.
I'm just
Everyone pay attention.
I'm just getting my character sheet from my little thing up here, which you'll do once you make characters. Any box on here, you can drag and roll off into the chat.
Oh shit.
Anytime you have dice in your hand, you can right-click to keep adding more. For some reason, I tell
I'm
you
gonna
to
roll 30 of
4 of
those.
them. You got your dice
I'll
stuff
roll
down here.
Perfect.
Advantage or disadvantage could be toggled.
Beautiful.
Oh,
This is-
natural 20.
and I didn't
This
roll it in
is
the
how you
chat.
roll
Oh
dice.
my god.
It doesn't count. I'm sorry, friend.
Die.
That's how you do it.
Are we all gonna be Scottish this time?
So
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
I'm
For
being
the
German.
deep voice.
Oh,
I'm German.
What Sie want?
hello. What do you want from me? Yeah.
Get my papers.
Wo ist meine Papier?
All right, let me
Ich weiß nicht.
shut the fuck up and let me just finish this so you can get to this. Anything can be dragged to a hotbar. Like if you wanted to put a strength check on here, like you were doing strength checks all the time, or maybe you're doing dex saves because you're in the
Oh,
face of
How do
fireballs.
you do that?
Just drag it and
Oh,
drop it on
geez, you
here.
don't do that?
And you can hold Control, Shift, or Alt for different hotbars. You can
This is how I
remove
live
it
my
by
life.
right-clicking them. You can
How do
drag
you
off from
cast
the
it?
hot thing. You can
Just
just
click
click it or drag off.
I just like to click it.
Oh, that does
Um,
work. Okay.
Yeah, and so anything can be put on there. So like, we'll eventually have like the message of the day thing again, and like I usually have it hotbar on there. Like you can have a skill check on here, which oops, that's weird.
Sweet. That's cool.
You can like put so I drag the acrobatics roll onto here. Let me add. So go here to races. On my thing, let's say I'm an elf. I can drag it on here. It'll ask me what kind. I'll go dark elf because I'm a baller. And then classes. Let's say I'm a bard.
Yeah,
I
you
can
are.
pick my 3 skills. Jesus.
Yep.
And then hit OK. You should see like little links in here. These little red dragon heads are links to like all your different stuff. But your class is kind of up here. You have to click this magnifying glass because in case you have multiple classes, they'd be listed here. But once you add it, like it should automatically pick the proficiencies for your skills and drop in a bunch of stuff that may or may not need more details. Like
Cool.
for you, it says pick 3 musical instruments, so you still have to fill that stuff in.
Oh yeah.
And all these little things sort of pop off here for your different racial.
Who became an unnamed?
Can I have an ocarina
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
time?
I just want a gif of that.
Alright.
You say, "Can I have an ocarina?"
All right, that's pretty much it. Let's. So, is anyone on the fence about anything still? Let's actually
mean,
wrap
can-
up the
I-
writing. The writing.
Can we
bits.
nail down our characters?
Yeah,
Just
are
real
you guys
quick?
on the
Yeah, yeah.
fence about what we're doing?
Hey, really quick before we get into the characters thing, I wanted to do one more out of character sort of player thing.
Yeah.
So this is maybe like a hard ask for people, and I'm not, you can tell me to shut up if it's too much.
I'll do
but,
it. Klug, I'll do it.
My one thing that I is kind of a particular pet peeve of mine is that characters that are trying to make the game more interesting at the expense of other players, like the rogue in the party that happens to just keep trying to pickpocket their fellow party members. I personally, as a player, I find that kind of shit annoying, and it's not interesting, and it doesn't make the game more fun. Like the PvP, like in-party fighting, I think tends to drag things down. And if at all possible, I'd like to make all the stakes come from outside of us. And yeah, like I want to keep the in-party fighting to a minimum, or in-party like betrayals and backstabbings and all that shit. Like I don't think any of that's interesting. If that's a thing you guys
If
want
it
to
makes
do,
you feel
like
better, Klug, I don't think I ever pickpocketed from Dave where I didn't tell him in a side chat before I did it. If that's what,
it's
if you're picking at the rogue that happened in the last, I don't know, party we played in, I just want you to know I told Dave every time I pickpocketed him.
That last one I actually told him to pickpocket.
So if
Okay.
you're pointing at towards my
But-
pickpocketing,
no,
that
I don't
was
think
all-
it was. I don't
that
think it
was
was
all
pointed directly at
choreographed.
pickpocketing.
No, I
But there
think
was
like
no, I'm
Ace-
just using it as an
There's a
example.
lot of,
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of
I mean,
conflict.
there's the
We-
whole
we
like,
had a-
hey, I'm gonna feed your pet so he's loyal to me and not you kind of bullshit. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I did do that. I did
Yeah,
do that.
but I don't know that's going on until like it comes out in a story point. And it's like, oh, really? I don't know. Like I just wanted to throw that as a player thing. Like trying to fuck over your friends isn't fun for anyone else except for the person who's doing it. That's all I'm saying.
I
Point
get
of
you.
view.
I get you.
I think it's a fair point. To be fair, I think a lot of the feeding Grimtalon stuff was done in jest, not to
Mhm.
take control of the pet. More like
definitely
to just
made
have, like,
that known.
little... Yeah, he did.
Piss
He did.
titty.
He did make that known. It was more of just going for some flavor with that. But
And
I
Ace
think-
was definitely guilty of that on multiple counts. I should be in jail for that shit.
Well,
I think it's a
yeah.
good point, and it's one
Bygones.
of the
I'm
many
just trying to-
it's one of the many points of the star of it's many of the spokes on what I thought were just blooming problems that I thought we could, a fresh start would be great for everyone. And it's a good point to bring up. Like I think one of the, like I said at the beginning, like the two main themes for this are story first and like team first, or whatever the fuck I said, something along those lines. And I want that to be like a different philosophy going forward, just a little bit, to have more of a party who has. It doesn't have to be like a flawlessly unified front, but like
Right.
more of a reason for them to be working together and to have motivations to go off and do the fucking crazy things you're going to be asked to do.
We had
really
a
like
lot
that.
of I mean, we had a lot of internal conflict, which is gonna happen. Kind of, granted, like all of our alignments and stuff were pretty extreme. Yeah, no, I agree with that point. I definitely think there can be conflict, like minor stuff, but I like the idea of the teamwork aspect, and I also like the idea of all of us coming from pretty like, I know you mentioned a couple different like factions, but I actually like the idea of all of us coming from a similar faction or a similar background, because we start immediately right off the base with some kind of trust in one another. Like, I
Right,
know,
yeah,
like
a
with
bond.
with like dwarves and even with like Goliath kind of character, I doubt that there's like this immediate trust at all with any of our characters. So having
I don't know. We come from the same mountain, sir.
yeah, that's a good point. But like the whole idea, like we need to have something that commonly unites us that we can kind of use as our base point. So I like the idea of us all coming from a similar, like we're all part of the same faction, or I don't know, something that similar among us that we can kind of rely on.
Yeah, and like I
like
picked that
that
up
focus
from
on that
last quest too. Like the more I screwed everyone over, like even in jest, like the more I was just like, ah, fuck. Like so.
Well, to be fair, you played Ace really well.
Yeah,
But
no,
that's
it
not
was
good.
to her character. But yeah, but like how Fiddy was saying, like, but why would Ace even be in this party, or like why would this party even continue to be with Ace? And
Yeah,
like,
I
oh
think-
yeah, at a certain point, it's kind of like
I think the
we're just
logic
together because we say we are, you know?
Yeah.
I think once Hush left, the logic
There's no reason,
there was probably gone. And
I like
think,
the focus that we're doing now, where it's
yeah,
like,
yeah. I think it's
let's make a reason.
yeah, and I think so. And to like circle back to like, the point of things being story first. If there's something that we think will be interesting and fun in the story, like even at like the potential cost of like in character moment kind of getting fucked, like maybe like the feeding Grimtown or like stealing gold or something, example, like we can put it out there right now and say that like if something like that comes up, or there's an idea for something like that, or if I come across someone having an idea for something like that, I think we can out of character loop people in and just agree that we're good enough at this point to role play that in character and make sure that everyone's good with that sort of thing happening in the story, right? Like we can just talk about the the mechanics of that being a thing,
Yeah.
which I think
Like
would be fine.
Like I've definitely shifted my attitude more towards like not fucking with people, because I don't know. After everything was all said and done, more often than not I was just like, man, that kind of just sucked. Like I just want to like help people and like get through fights and stuff.
I mean, yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, I like the idea of the conflict being external, and by the end of our, like campaign point, we had so much external conflict that it was like any internal conflict is gonna fuck everybody over. Like, there is no way we're gonna finish this.
I think in any group thing ever, it's safe to say that we don't need to plan for interesting internal conflict. I think it'll just happen no matter what. I don't think we need to build and plan characters to strive for it. I think it'll just occur.
But also play your character. Like, if your character would have a problem with whatever you're doing, like, please play your character. Like, that's what makes it interesting. I mean, that's the whole point of role playing, right?
And I think that, I think that's where some of the earlier points will come into play, right? Like if we all stay true to our characters and true to the story, and it gets to the point where it feels like a character doesn't belong anymore for some reason, I'd hope we could all have like an adult conversation about like just determining that and like figuring out how to keep the story moving forward, and just get a new character in for that person if that's the case.
They
you know,
retire to the farm.
yeah, well, they can come NPCs. I mean, they could still show up again.
Farm.
We're all adults. We can handle it.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
We all try to be adults.
I think those are all of the sort of big picture new campaign bullet points. It's a lot to trudge through, but my hope is we're going to be doing this for over a year or more. So it's good to talk about now before we start locking things in.
Have a question about that. If
Uh-huh.
we're gonna play for a year, what level do you expect us to be at after a year?
6.
I legitimately
6.
have this entire first arc, like literally mapped out to the point where I have the battle maps with encounters and shit set up. Assuming you at some point get back to some of the main story stuff. Like I don't want it to be entirely on rails or anything like that, but
Okay.
no matter what we do, if it's like a big ongoing thing, I will plot out like a core arc, a spine down the middle of it that we hopefully weave around most of the time. And if it goes off another direction, it goes off another direction. But this very first arc, you should be level 8-ish by the end of it. And I don't imagine, if we do sort of enable this hardcore mode and sort of get on point and try to trim the fat a little bit and so on and so forth. And if we have characters in a scenario and a story that naturally has a drive to go do certain things with specific reasons, I think there'll be a lot less meandering than, maybe where we were before.
Yeah.
So I don't even think it'll be a year for us to get through this first arc, and by the end of that, we should be level 8-ish, and to answer your question in a very detailed way. Yeah, and then the second arc, I think, takes you all the way to like 14 or 15 to some really
Shit.
insane shit. Is Casey still here? I don't know if he's... Okay, cool.
There he is here.
Sometimes you've been quiet before,
You're
and then
frozen.
we find out you're
No, I'm
mic's
just
fucked up.
listening.
Okay. Yeah, so like the other one like is like legitimately insane, which is why I have the disclaimer about lethality and dying. Like there's some crazy shit, but also some really wacky, cool, high fantasy fucking poster material scenarios.
If we make it to season 2 of this, can we meet Grandma Ace and she gives us her last remaining asshole potion? Like she just slides it over the table.
hey,
and
She's
like,
running the Fight Club
Kyle,
up in
Kyle.
Bryn Shander.
Yeah.
Let's be for real. She uses all the asshole potions within like a day.
Oh, she's an addict. I mean, she's an addict for sure. It hurts her, but she likes it.
So for classes, let's like bring it back around to classes and
Yeah.
characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you guys? So I'm pitching cleric. You guys cool with cleric? Everybody feel okay about that?
Yeah, for
cleric
sure.
tinker.
Got a
Okay.
strong pitch.
You're gonna be able to heal us?
That's yeah. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to heal and buff and make everybody super happy all the time. That's a lie. Okay, cool. So
Okay.
cleric. So Casey, you're pretty good on bard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so cleric and bard. That's kind of like our spell casting, which feels pretty good. I think we have like a lot of versatility there.
Yeah.
So Kyle and Klug, how do
Kyle
you
and
guys
Klug.
feel?
Yeah, where you guys
How
landing?
do you guys feel?
Where do you feel?
I'm a wild card. How do you guys feel about me? I can either
Well-
be the giant fighter or the turtle
So-
shield.
Well, Klug, if you have like a better idea, Kyle can play the Phil role, or I guess you can play Phil role.
It makes no difference to me. They're both interesting equally. I'm more leaning towards the giant fighter, though. I think he has more potential.
So I definitely think we need a forward melee who can tank in some form or fashion, because
Yeah.
I mean, a cleric can have really high AC and can deal decent damage
Well, it's interesting
and also
'cause
heal.
Both bards and clerics are very versatile in their casting, in the sense that they can both be very supportive or very offensive or defensive.
I think we'll figure that out as we're going.
I'm just letting you know, I'm not bringing a lot of healing spells. My goal is to stun so many enemies that they can't hit us.
With
That is the
cat
goal.
meows.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
I-
that's how I'm gonna play it.
I think CC is amazing, and I totally think you should play that.
That's what
I
I'm gonna
can
do. I'll bring a
I
couple
can-
heals.
Battleman, can I pack in the healing? I will eventually make items that you can pull healing from. Huh? Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
So one of my characters doesn't like
Health
to be
packs.
healed. Like he just wants to man it, but he'll take the heals if they're presented. And then the
You
other,
force them down his throat.
yeah, and then the other character
No.
is just like, whatever.
I
How
think
are you
this
gonna
is-
go fight the dragon if you can't even walk?
Exactly.
And then they finally talk you into it.
I mean, I'm pitching the idea that like I can build healing into your armor in some form or fashion, so you can have like
One
a
day.
charge. Yeah.
So
You
here's
can
the deal
have
with the
a charge of cure wounds or something.
So here's the deal with the turtle. He does not wear armor. He's armorless.
So I'll put it into your fucking pole arm.
Amulet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I'll give
I'm just
you a
saying.
ring.
I'm
Yeah,
just
they
saying
can't
right
wear
now,
armor.
the turtle can't wear armor. He
Yeah,
cannot
but
wear armor.
They just have
I'm
a
sure
flat
there's, like,
17 AC. But you can
a
get like
ring,
rings.
yeah, or-
amulet,
Okay.
cloak.
Something like that.
Some-
I'm sure
like
there's
a saddle.
something.
You know, a saddle for my
Oh
shell.
man, a turtle with like a badass like hooded cloak. Just be a cool silhouette.
Yeah.
He'd
that'd
just
pretty
be
cool.
a spear.
Yeah, I know. But then like you see like the cloak billow out unnecessarily,
And then
dramatically.
it's a spear
Dude.
underneath the spear.
And then
He looks like
Having-
Raphael from when he wears his trench coat.
Damn!
Yes.
yeah.
The fedora.
Oh man, that was
I
the
do
best
I do
yell
like the
ever.
idea of like the crazy giant though that just like the one-upsmanship, the bravado.
I mean, my question with that is, are you gonna get us all killed?
Yeah, I know.
So all right,
Listen,
so I already thought
I'm gonna
of this.
pull out.
So just just on that note, he does want to do the bravest, most crazy thing, but I'm not gonna play him like we have to go over the rickety bridge. Like,
Well, all right. I mean, that's where I say like it's an awesome, fun, classic sort of archetype. But maybe we need to have like that's where like sort of like these ideas, like the ideas that come from like backgrounds in the game rules, even sort of lead to, right? Like, what kind of bonds do you have? Like, maybe you are this guy who will not only like stand in front of the dragon and like just want to be there and be the first one over the line to fucking head into danger, and constantly put yourself at risk, but maybe you have some sort of bonds or clauses in that, you know, you put the safety of like you grew up in such like a brotherhood like type clan environment that anyone who's on the field of battle with you, like maybe they're kind of like, you know, your new brothers or something, and
let me put it this way:
Yeah.
there's no honor in death, right? Like, if you're not alive to pass through the thing that you've gone through, then you're fucked, right? Like, you have to survive the feat that you've gone through.
So,
Japanese disagree.
what class specifically are you focusing on for Goliath? Is it fighter?
Yeah, he's a fighter.
What particular
type of fighter?
subclass? Yeah, are you
I
thinking?
have no idea.
oh man, they're pretty elaborate.
I mean,
There's a
and they're
lot.
all very
And they're all
different.
pretty cool.
Well, I mean, his
Dude.
nickname is the Iron Comet. He's a ball and chain fighter.
I mean, you could be a champion. I feel like champion would be a pretty decent call. You eventually get to the point where your critical hits are from like 18, 20. If you roll an 18, 19, or 20.
you should start scrolling through the fighter, because like even like they have so much cool flavor stuff in the beginning, like who was your instructor? Do you have a signature style? And they have like a lot of really
Okay.
good examples. But that's not even getting into the actual subclasses.
Well, like I can flesh all that out. Like, it, you know, like
Yeah.
he's a fighter. He's
So-
gonna do damage.
As like a just me thinking tactically,
Maybe Battle Master.
I like the idea of Klug. I really like your barbarian idea. I love the idea that
I like the monk
resistance-
angle too, though.
resistance is a big thing with barbarians that I really think could play kind of a key role in some ways. Not to say that you should feel pressured to do that, but that could maybe be something. The fact that you can like half most of your damage is pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
I mean,
But there's
monks-
also, I mean, if we get a
monks do
frontliner,
get quite
monks.
monks.
If we have a frontliner, then yeah, openers like a rogue or a monk could be really, really strong for that. We would, yeah.
Hmm.
but we should kind of like probably think about who's tanking and who is either opening or like I don't know, second tanking
Dude, I
kind of
think
thing.
what you've described, Kyle, kind of sounds like champion. And
Well, that's what- yeah.
you're probably really like improved critical at level 3, where a 19 or a 20, not just a 20, is considered a natural crit.
All
That's
right.
level 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, what's
in.
the 18 to 20? Is that like level 10?
That's later on. Yeah, that's later on.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
at level 15 you get superior crit, where an 18 to a 20 is a nat 20.
Do we have people who can bend that like Ace did?
What?
Do we have people who can increase my odds? So it's not
Oh.
just
I
18
mean,
to 20?
I can give you more dice at some
Yes.
point.
Yeah, well, yeah, bards like
But I
I
don't-
think have a thing where like you get to roll like a d4 and add that to like your chance roll or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
And I think
So if
I
I
also
get like
have
a
things.
15 or better with Casey, then I get a nat 20.
My
no,
goal
no,
is
it's,
also
it's got to be a nat, like in the same way that a 20 has
Okay,
to always
okay.
be a natural raw 20. It would
Okay.
have to be it.
my goal is also I'll have abilities. I think starting level 2 where I can. Oh no, I think it's level 1 where I just make fun of people and they immediately get disadvantage against things. Vicious
Yo, your
mocking.
dick's out. Oh, disadvantage.
Bumblebee tuna is gonna happen a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Kyle, for you, if you go fighter with that giant guy, I was gonna say battle master or champion, but I think champion sounds more
Champion fits him really well.
fits it
What's-
really
what's-
well.
What's Battle Master?
Battle
versus
master is
champion?
more like strategic fighting.
Battle
Yeah.
Master's fucking amazing, dude.
It's cool. It's
Uh,
cool, but like champion
Battle
sounds
Master-
like
It's very
the-
technical.
Battle
Whichever
Master's
You gotta pick up your
Versatility.
class. You gotta think of
Yeah.
your character, what they're
You-
gonna play.
whichever
Yeah.
makes me do it the best.
champion.
Like I want to be
Either
the
one.
best at it.
But either one, like
Sounds
champion's
like you
gonna
should
be
the
like
barbarian.
you could get like the best possible crits.
If I have
But
somebody in a
Battle
headlock,
Master,
I want to put them in a headlock with one arm.
but Battle Master is gonna give
Champion
you
not only
Sorry.
gives you the improved crit, you get a remarkable athlete at level 7, and you get to add half your proficiency bonus to any strength, dex, or con check you make that doesn't already use your bonus. In addition, you can jump and be the strongest ever.
Oh,
You get a
okay.
bunch of jump
Yeah.
bonuses.
Athletics is the grapple check.
And you
Okay.
get
Max
additional
athletics.
fighting styles from the core fighting class.
I only need one
So-
fighting style.
Well, that's like the thing like where Dave could like step in and protect people. You
right.
can
You can be like
choose
great weapon master.
great weapon fighting
Great weapon.
and
fighting, dude.
defense, which would give you +1 to AC in great weapon fighting when you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage attack. Which there you go, talked about you being able to bend luck or whatever. You get to re-roll that dice and use the new roll.
Oh, if I fuck up, I get
So
to
if you roll a
do
1
it over
or a
again.
2 on your attack roll
Oh wow.
with great weapon fighting, yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, but that's assuming that you're using a big two-handed weapon. I think is.
I'm using a big ball and chain.
Okay.
Images
Yeah, I think,
provided.
I think,
if needed.
I think you're going champion if you
Right,
want
is-
this guy.
Is great weapon a ball and chain?
We could call it that.
Dude, what if you like? Because there used to be like the spiked chain. From
looking at the
3.5, and that was like a
weapons
two-handed
table.
large weapon.
Let's see. Because I'm happy to reskin something too if it's the same spirit. So
Yeah, let me
Dude,
let me find a.
I used to have a spiked chain fighter like in 3.5, and that was fucking amazing.
glaive.
You trip people with it.
Hmm. Glaive, great axe, no.
So,
If I can,
let's just assume Kyle's gonna go that.
Yeah,
Klug, are you
okay.
going monk?
Yeah, I'll go monk then.
Yeah.
And I think
I like the monk angle.
I'll probably end up going the Tabaxi monk, who's already a member of the Cult of the Dragon. Who, like, I wake up one day and I'm just like, oh shit, these are the bad guys. I'm gonna be like Finn from Force Awakens.
You don't want to do bugbear?
Ew.
Hey, Finn is awesome.
Ew.
Can he be a bugbear?
I almost think the bugbear angle works even better for that particular storyline.
Can he be in the Cult of the Dragon already and he's a bugbear?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
Well, you could just be like a bugbear fighter originally, like when you were in the Cult of the Dragon some months back, and they were just starting to kind of reform into all of these different little areas, and they're actively recruiting both people and sort of monstrous characters. And maybe this guy, this Leosin character, this half elf, like you two formed a relationship while he was infiltrating.
Oh, because he was the only person that was my friend.
And then he eventually helped get you out and revealed that he was actually a member of the Harpers, and that he had this grand plan based on what the two of you learned from this smaller encampment of the cultists, that they were going to be planning a full-fledged attack on the village of Greenest because of their resources and their central location between some of their bases of operations. And he was bringing you and some of the other monks along to the village to go prepare and basically just wait for them to come, because you kind of knew from your intel that they were coming. And maybe since you were this former member and in there with him, none of the other monks who are under him, none of the other pupils are really in on the fact that he's trying to get captured and infiltrate them again during the attack. So it's a secret that you'll be harboring from the other players and from the other monks NPCs.
Yeah, like if you're like Finn, like he could be like forced, like he could be like the best horseback rider, and then they could force that he's gay and then not pan it out, and then he could save your life in episode 8, but then nothing could come from it. I'm just kidding.
Okay,
And
let's
then
stay
nothing happens.
let's stay on point here.
And then all of my dialogue is just awful. And I'm an idiot from campaign to campaign. Yeah.
Okay, no, let's keep it. Let's stay on point.
This is topical.
So there's
Yes.
no like out of the box weapon for you, Kyle, but we can I'm happy to reskin one of these other heavy two-handed weapons and just say it's a
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it would still probably be
Something with like a reach on it.
the only thing with the reach in here, let me see, maybe like we could take the stats of a pike, which is a heavy two-handed with reach, does 1d10 piercing damage.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So are you imagine it's like a chain, you're swinging like a spiked ball at the end or something?
Yeah, it's like a big heavy iron ball with like some flanges on it.
Okay. Yeah, it's perfect then. We'll take the stats of the pike and then I'll make it right now while we're talking in Fantasy Grounds.
Damn.
Okay, so Klug, happy with the monk angle then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds pretty
definitely.
cool.
My backup is going to be the dwarf barbarian.
Okay.
Once this guy dies from being an idiot.
Do you have a
I love
do you
that
have a
you've
name
already
for
accepted it.
Do you have a name for this weapon, Kyle? Just ball and chain or
Well, it's called the Iron Comet. That's my nickname.
okay. Ball and chain weapon. Boom.
As you
Heavy
guys may or
reach
may not
team.
know, the nicknames of
It
gargantuan
is created.
people, they change with their feats. So if
It
I
is.
ever change my name, my weapon, I'm gonna change my nickname now. Don't
If you-
be Gra the Iron
If you search for
Comet.
Iron Comet, it is now in the items
Yes.
in the game.
Oh, you're the best, dude.
Okay. All right. So we have a roster. We've got a fighter champion, a monk. Were you talking about drunken master?
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
I hope that you're really into brewing things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's proficient in brewing.
I have not looked in depth at drunken master.
Is he gonna be like the hungover master? He
At
doesn't
level
have beer?
3, I get proficiency in performance, so I can dance, and I gain proficiency with brewer supplies.
Yo, Casey,
Oh my
you still
God.
here?
He
Casey,
is it.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
you awake, bud?
You're all frozen up.
Oh yeah.
You're froze bows. Oh, I see.
Aha.
I understand what happened.
I'll join you.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Shotgun.
All right.
I call middies.
Yeah, Casey, at level 3, I'm gonna roll to dance to your music.
It's gonna be,
And your music's
it's
gonna
gonna be
be
a fucking dance party.
a better dance. Yeah, I'm gonna start moshing and drinking.
It's gonna be great.
That doesn't sound very
I'll bring the party.
monk-like.
Wait, this is the most monk-like.
You just
glass
go
out of
mosh
it.
and drink.
Yeah.
Here, I'll let me do the base setup on your character sheets, and then
Damn.
How much base does he get?
oh
drop that, please.
Klug, what 2 skills would you like proficiency in from your monkness?
Wait, just any monkness?
Well, you
is
get
it-
acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, or stealth. You got to pick 2 to be more proficient in than others.
Instead of being
well,
a monk,
definitely-
could you be a drunk?
Definitely athletics.
Okay.
And
Then you got acrobatics, history, insight, religion,
Yeah.
or stealth.
what would help better with like draconic lore? Would it be like history or religion?
Hold on.
Because like the Cult of the Dragon already gives me. Because I'm gonna be a Cult of the Dragon scholar, right?
Yeah.
Definitely want that. Not the infiltrator. I'll be the scholar. And it says you automatically identify locations used by dragons, identify
shit.
their eggs and scales by sight. And if you fail an intelligence check to recall the lore, you know someone. But it's like intelligence to.
Oh man, I broke
the
something
lore?
on the skill links right now, so the skill description windows aren't popping open.
Not the skinks.
Yep. Shit. Well, I mean, honestly, I think history would be good about like knowing about the history of them, but insight would be like a more active, trying to read the situation or like read the clues.
Let's do insight.
Okay.
Gonna be super wise.
Cool. And then let me add
We got athletics and insight.
race bugbear. Oh shit.
And
Okay. Do you want to roll stat sets, Klug? I'll start with you since I have your sheet up here.
it,
So
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
try to
do. I was gonna do the same way we did it last time.
I want to try to find a. I want to try to find like a background that I can
Oh,
layer the,
okay.
the Cult of the Dragon Scholar on.
Okay.
That makes it so I can speak Draconic. Well, actually, no, I might just do
Draconis.
Cloistered Scholar and
Okay.
then make that the
Get
Dragon
that language.
Scholar. Yeah, so I get history from this background, plus one of your choice from Arcana, Nature, and Religion. Probably make that religion. And then language would be like Draconic and whatever else is in the area. Like whatever else the Cult of the Dragon would want to know.
Okay. One sec, I'm just setting up some stub sheets here.
Yeah, what else would they want? What languages do dragons speak?
I speak
Um,
fucking draconic, bro.
Draconic,
Got that
Art-
Draconic.
Hard draconic.
giant, maybe.
Giant? Alright, let's do it. I'm giant.
Well, I mean,
I speak giant.
your abilities. I mean, you get Goblin and Common for free as
Right.
a Bugbear.
Give us a little shot of what goblin sounds like.
Goblin?
Yeah, ready, go.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Let's see.
Kind of like a cough into a vomit.
So you're saying
Everything-
Cloistered Scholar?
Of the dragon cult. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Cloistered
Alright.
Scholars
Okay.
of the dragon cult.
All right,
yeah.
we'll mash it up. So for Cloistered Scholar, you get Arcana would be pretty good. You get Arcana, Nature, or Religion as one of your benefits.
Oh,
for the
so
Scholar.
Arcana? Okay, so I'll do. Wait. Yeah, I guess I'll Arcana.
Okay.
Arcana and because history comes with that. And then
Yeah.
languages will be Draconic and Giant.
So
Ooh.
if you look in the character selection, you've got that. I just put a temporary picture on there for now because whatever I had in this grab bag. That's your stubbed out character. We have to roll stats and stuff. Let me get the Cult of the Dragon thing. So which feature were you taking?
What do you mean?
You wanted to mix one of the Cult of the Dragon Scholar?
Oh, Dragon Scholar. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Dragon Scholar. So that would come in place of the library access, I guess. Yeah.
And they can just identify dragon shit at
Yeah.
will.
Cool.
Like literally.
All right.
Yeah, they see
merged.
dragon shit and they're like, that is one big pile of shit.
Okay. Are you ready to do stats now, or do you?
Yes,
wanna
let's
fuck
do
this
it.
up? Okay.
Are you
Alright,
rolling? Are you
So
gonna roll?
yeah, so
Fuck me.
4d6 like this. 13.
Oh.
All right, so go ahead and just roll all 6. So that's the first one. Okay.
These rolls suck dick.
Oh my god, I can't type.
Look, they don't suck dick. They suck what you reap.
That's pretty.
Oh.
Those are pretty good rolls.
That's
This
not
is
bad.
awful.
17.
Hold on. 17. 17's the start
16.
of a new one.
Oh.
Right? Oh wait. Oh no. So I counted my roll. I'm bad.
What now?
I was
I got
sorry. I fucked it up.
Well,
Yeah,
it's not
no, you're good.
46. It's 3d6 minus, or drop the lowest one, right?
Yeah, you're right. God, I'm so rusty.
So it's
Okay,
like,
so it's
12,
13,
13.
11,
yeah.
12. Oh yeah, these aren't the greatest. 11, and then 16. Okay.
It's because you live below me.
All right,
on the mountain.
that's the first set. You get to roll 3 sets, just like last
Oh,
time.
cool.
And then you pick the set that you want and put them in what stats that you want.
Oh,
So-
don't pick that one.
So that's a 7.
Okay. Wait, what was that? 12.
Hey.
And then,
I'm writing them all down.
okay, sorry. I
Yeah,
didn't
you can just
write
focus
my
on rolling.
sets.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the first set. So 8. You got a 7 there. And
Ah.
Oh my god,
8.
Klug, focus.
Finish it off.
Dude.
Focus, damn it.
13,
Oh my god.
13, 15, and one
Our
more.
game getting hotter.
And
Why
10.
is it minus? Why is it -1?
It's 46 and you keep the best
Drop
of
the
3.
lowest,
You
yeah.
drop the lowest. All right, last set.
Fucking
Hold on. Let me clear it. I'll just boom. There we go.
There you
Okay.
go.
Klug, come on, man, focus.
Oh, hang on. Wait, what's that? There you go.
15.
All right,
Whoa,
all right.
holy.
Whoa.
He's trying to game
There you
the
go.
system. 8,
I rolled
5.
that 5 will be one. Nah, fuck
12,
that, man. Oh, this is so bad.
So, yeah, not the greatest sets.
This is awful. I'm gonna have an awful.
Adds
character.
character. It adds character.
It doesn't add character, Fitty. It
It
just makes the
subtract-
game frustrating and
it-
terrible to play.
Literally subtracts character.
Oh man, one of my
Literally
favorite
subtracts
one of my
character.
favoriteest characters ever had some of the worst stats.
As long as you don't like fighting or talking to people,
Hey. That
you know,
first
playing
set's
the game
that
as
first,
intended.
that first set is above average.
Yeah, that
Okay.
first one's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I might.
Plus
do
you
that.
get the strengths 12 and 11. Strength 12, dex 11 to start with.
You're gonna be pretty good at everything.
Oh, okay. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
dude, I might go with that last set.
Okay.
15,
Uh,
12.
Because I could drop that 5 on charisma.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
actually, no, it doesn't make any sense. Why would I take the second set?
I mean the first set has a 16 and then all 12s and
That's
11s.
All right, fine.
That's pretty average.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Okay. So
Let me sit on it. Let me sit on it. I'm gonna sit on
Okay.
it.
Yeah. And then your racial is +2 strength, +1 dex. This is I'm writing this in your OneNote page.
Oh,
I just wrote all
Uh,
that stuff in there.
did
Stat
you-
rolls
in my
in the D&D A2 notebook.
in the
I made a
clip
page. Yeah, I made a page right after your Bugbear Monk. It might be syncing still. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't see it yet.
Okay.
There you are.
Ah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right.
That
All right.
rolls.
And marinate on that. Look at some stuff.
Marinating.
Casey.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Go somewhere else. First.
Okay.
Ha!
David?
No one's here.
What? Are you saying me?
David.
All right.
If you go to the PCs, I made a one just it says Bronzebeard. You can kind of claim ownership on that if you click it. I think.
Jeez.
Oh, nice.
Bronzebeard.
Own
Very
dwarf.
nice.
Okay, so we are going dwarf, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
So that's
adding
a plus
dwarf.
2 con.
And so you said gold dwarf.
I want
We
the
can switch the
wisdom.
stats. Yeah.
Yeah. I want the wisdom.
Which style do you want? Not
What do you mean?
stats. Hill
Which
dwarf
style?
or gold dwarf?
I liked shield or gold. I liked gold
Shield.
for the sake of crafting because their goal is to always make something that's like great kind of thing. I like that aspect of it. I like the shield dwarf just for the sake of like adventure and wanting to go. Like they seem more adventuresome. They seem more like the type that would leave their their massive fortresses and shit and go do things.
Yeah, because I mean, you can mix and match the stat bonuses from the sub races. Which flavor do you want to settle on though? Because you got to pick one now.
I'm gonna go with gold, I think, because I like the idea that his name is Bronzebeard and a gold, like among the gold dwarves, like that he has something to prove.
Alright.
I like that aspect of it.
He's just barely a gold dwarf.
All right, so cleric.
Hey, Kyle, shut the fuck up.
Cleric, you get to pick 2 proficiency skills to start off. So you get history, insight, medicine, persuasion, or religion.
Persuasion, because I'm also doing the background for
Which background were you thinking?
Guild Artisan.
Okay, so for Guild Artisan,
That's insight and persuasion.
you
so
get
I
insight and
don't.
persuasion from that. Yeah, so we don't want to overlap that.
So what's the?
So without those, we got history, medicine, or religion.
Definitely medicine because we're gonna need it.
And history and religion are basically kind of like, knowledge of those things in terms of
I want to say
identifying different gods or identifying different landmarks because of historical reasons.
So
Identify the god of
identifying?
beards.
How about identifying items? Like which one would be better for that?
What if you
Should be
worship
history?
items
Both.
as gods?
Both really, right? Because if it's a holy, like a thing related to like a holy organization or has some sort of holy significance, I would say it'd probably come under religion.
And is that for like legendary shit?
I mean, history might be more for like knowing about or finding out about like artifacts and the stories behind them, that kind of shit.
And I am a
history is more
cleric.
about your ability to recall lore about historical events, legendary people, ancient kingdoms, past disputes, recent wars, and lost civilizations, and maybe what treasures they hold. Religion's more about your ability to recall lore about deities, rites and prayers, religious hierarchies, holy symbols, and the practice of secret cults. So you might be able to identify like certain patterns or things that a cult or a group is doing based on your knowledge of religions. So I could see both being good.
But I am a cleric, so I guess it makes sense to do religion.
Okay.
Honestly,
All
kind
right.
of makes sense. The character, at least.
Let's do it. And so Forge domain. Yeah.
Yep, Forge.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Bronzebeard. So, oh, man, for some reason I did not. So yeah, make sure we check our character sheet. So we should have had fucking.
So, in terms of gear and shit.
Oh,
Well, I
didn't
guess-
add it. I didn't add Guild Artisan, that's why. Yeah, gear and shit.
Well, I was gonna say, he gets heavy stuff. So I think chainmail. There's a chainmail attribute that gives you 16 AC without dex at all, and I don't imagine this guy's gonna have very much dex. Because wisdom is the main stat, right? I imagine it's wisdom, strength, con for a cleric.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the recommended stuff. It's like if you look at under each class has sort of like a quick build thing where they try to give you suggested stuff, and for them they say wisdom, strength, and con, strength or con. Yeah. It's like all of your magic rate, like how difficult they are to resist and stuff's gonna be based off your wisdom.
Okay.
and any like spell attack
So-
rolls.
We're rolling 4d6.
Yes, are you ready to roll some stats?
Might as well.
So, okay, Geg, roll. Holy.
Jesus!
The f-
17 out the gate.
Okay, hold on.
Fuck you.
Let me
Trade.
stenographer this.
God.
Oh my
Damn,
god!
what the
5
fuck?
Hallandor. 5 Hallandor.
What the fuck?
Who needs
dude?
that roll anymore?
Balance that shit out.
Yeah.
Got 9.
Okay.
Jeez. Oh my god,
damn,
still.
dude.
Well, we know who the breadwinner. Oh, okay, never mind.
No.
Mediocre.
Charisma dump
1,
stat.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so this is the next one.
Oh yeah. We're on the
4,
next
5,
one.
6.
Yeah.
Alright. So 12 is the next one.
That's 11.
Or
yeah.
11.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's terrible.
7.
That's fuck.
It's gonna be hard to beat that first set.
Oh,
14,
right.
Good roll for me.
11, 10, and one more for this.
Mediocre.
Oh, that one's
9.
terrible.
Here, let me clear. Yeah, it's a little
Alright.
easier on the eyes. Alright, go ahead. 11, 15,
Fuck.
10.
Terrible.
Whoa, 16. Jesus Christ, 15.
There you go.
One more.
All right.
14. Alright, it's in your... I made a OneNote thing. Oops, did not paste. There's that too.
God.
What stat
damn.
bonuses were you taking for the dwarf, Rachel? Which one?
I want the wisdom modifier for
Yeah,
sure.
So which...
So wisdom, I don't know what the other benefit was. The wisdom and then hit points, right? I don't know if I can mix up
yeah,
like
gold-
if I want
gold-
strength instead of hit points.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like-
gold dwarfs get wisdom +1 and then dwarven toughness.
Wisdom plus what's dwarven toughness?
You have your hit point max is increased by 1, and it goes and it increases by 1 every time you gain a level.
So I have to pick that or the +2 to strength.
No, you basically get wisdom or strength as a stat bonus.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. Oh no. I'm sorry. All dwarves get Constitution +2, and then yeah, you pick wisdom or strength for the sub race.
Wisdom.
Yeah. So
I
so
feel like wisdom. 'cause
default
cleric is all
gold
wisdom.
dwarf is good then. It's +2 con, +1 wisdom, and then you get dwarven toughness, which
Okay,
is
that feels
pretty
fair.
good. Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
I'm-
Mountain Dwarf, you get +2 con and +2 strength. That
it's
man.
it's yeah. I mean, maybe that's more tempting because I could get if I did if I did that first one, I could start out with the 1919.
Yeah, but then you only get dwarven armor training with that. Dwarven toughness is pretty hot, and I think more on theme with your character. Gold dwarf package. Total gold dwarf package. You have to give me a real good sell on the other one.
I mean, okay, so I need help deciding, guys, because the
Your
first
first
one
roll was
had
the best.
it had 17s, 2 17s, but it had a 9 and an 8, and then but the last one though had all pretty decent stats with a 16,
Dude.
2 15s, a
Your
14.
intelligence is a dump stat, and your charisma is a dump stat. There you go.
Be
Like,
the
clerics-
best at a bunch
clerics-
of things.
Yeah, clerics don't need all that.
They don't need charisma and which one? Intelligence?
I mean, I like characters that have very wide-ranging stats because it makes funny
Okay,
things
first one, perfect.
happen.
Hey, Fitty, is
Yeah.
there a way to like make more dice to roll as opposed to just right clicking because I don't have a mouse?
You can. I think you can just type 4d6. Let me try. Hold on.
I mean, I don't have to do it yet. I was just trying to. I didn't know if you knew.
Oh, there we
something
go.
off the top of your head.
So yeah. Wait, what? Why didn't that work? 4d6. Oh, I have an idea. Let me try something real quick.
Have Dave roll for me.
No, no.
Just the first time though.
Yeah, just the first round. That's all you get.
Oh, okay, hold on.
All this paladin luck.
Hey, I'm not a paladin anymore.
You're always a paladin in my heart, man.
Yeah, man, get insane rolls. Jesus.
Saved
Hey.
all your rolls up for this.
Listen. You have to think of it like, if whoever rolls like well, it benefits everybody. Like,
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm-
whoever
it was
does
just luck.
drags everybody down.
Or you're a paladin and you're no good dirty roller.
Or that. Why did you want to play a paladin when you knew that your rolls were gonna be shit? My question.
Well, I get that curse now. You can bestow it onto me. I can't wait to just. My first roll is just gonna be me dying.
Okay, Casey, I did it.
What did you do?
If you go to the character windows, and I made a Tabaxi Bard one, and then if you go to the Actions tab, I made a damage roll for 4d6, which you can just click.
Thank you, sir. Going to characters.
So claim that Tabaxi Bard,
Done.
and then go to the Actions tab, and then oops.
Thank you.
I didn't record whatever rolls I had, Fiddy, so I hope you still have them.
Yeah, I put them in your OneNote.
Okay,
Thanks, Kendall.
so should I just like put them into the whatever specs I want?
Yeah, so you'll just have to, you know, where the +2 and the +1 are, you know, just put your totals together. It'd be good for me in case your stats ever like permanently change in the game. If you guys want at the bottom of your OneNote, just put like what the block that you picked was, and then like,
I'm still trying to find wherever you put it. Oh, stat rolls. Okay.
like if you're taking this first block, I'll just use yours as an example. Like that's the one you picked, and then before racial modifiers here, I'm just gonna put 2 things. After.
I'm probably gonna do wisdom and strength as the 17s,
Cool.
and then con will be 13, and then I don't fucking know. Do I need intelligence? I don't imagine he's very dexterous, so I don't know. Maybe that's like a 9.
Yeah.
Is somebody who's played other characters? Like, should I put it into Dex? What should be my low stats?
I
said,
mean, Dex feeds into initiative and armor sometimes. Well, initiative all the time.
Yeah.
Dex feeds into a lot of like, you know, saving throws, like getting out of the way of a fireball.
Okay,
Charisma is
so-
a dump stat. Intelligence is a dump stat for clerics.
Dump stat, damn.
Charisma
you
and
know,
intelligence.
That's
I mean,
coming
I
at
don't
it
want
from
my
a
guy
very,
to be
a
an
very
idiot.
gamey angle. Like,
It
yes,
is.
it's true. You know, charisma is going to affect how you're perceived by other people, how much they like you, how well you come off. It's all of the negotiation skills are based around it.
So if
You
I'm
can look
gonna,
at the skills tab and just see every skill and what stat it's based off of, like in
so
the
if I'm
stat
gonna
column.
try to sell things,
Charisma, man.
Give them to me. I'll sell
I
them
mean,
for you.
think about it. Like, I mean, my guy.
Well, you could be like the
makes
soup Nazi,
armor.
right? Like you could have amazing soup that people line up for, but still be a piece of shit.
No, so he was a piece of shit. He
He
had
just had a system
he had a system. He had
so that
he
people
had,
get their soup
standards.
fast and efficiently. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
standards.
disagree with it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, you could say the soup Nazi had awful charisma, and arguably a great system that people just took offense at. But you know, in terms of stats, he had bad charisma.
He had 0 charisma.
So
Or
it
negative.
wouldn't be like required, you know, if you were trying to hawk wares or something. Obviously, a good charisma would make you a better salesman and help you fucking sell a garbage thing to somebody if that's what you were trying to do. But
Oddly enough, too, D&D has this weird thing where, like, if you try to intimidate someone, that's also a charisma trick.
Yeah, but I am
Yeah.
I am definitely of the opinion, and I said it a few times. I don't think anyone did it that much. I think Peck did sometimes, but like I'm not beholden to the stat that's next to a skill. Like if you are acting something out or pitching something, like if you're trying to intimidate somebody and you're doing it through strength or through like a display of terror or fear or like your presence, it could very much be based off of strength, in my opinion. So there's that.
Cool.
And
Base
if
did
it's
not get
something
the
like
strength.
if it's something that your character is doing all the time, I would probably just change the stat on your sheet to automatically use strength instead of charisma if that's the type
Ha.
of intimidating you do.
I will be using strength.
Yeah. Um,
I'm excited.
Okay, let me
yeah.
think about
So
it a
Marianne,
little
on
bit.
that.
Go on to
Casey,
someone
it
else.
sounded like you were maybe ready to roll if you had that thing working.
No, go ahead, Kyle.
All right, Kyle.
What am I doing? I'm rolling
so-
D6 46.
Not yet, not yet. So you're doing Goliath
Yeah.
fighter.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm ready.
And have you thought about the background at all?
What? Background of my character?
No, like, well, you pick a background, right? The,
Yeah, hold on.
So
Let me.
there's,
Are you in the OneNote?
yeah, there, in the D&D 5e, there's all those backgrounds. So there's Outlander. I'll just start sounding off ones that sound
No, hold on. I'm gonna
relatable
find
for
my. Where am I? I don't see me. Whatever, go for it. I'll just say whatever comes to mind.
Alright. Whoa, my screen is freaking out there. One sec. Clan. Whoa, Dave, I don't know if you saw, but there is a clan crafter background too.
There's a clan crafter? I thought that was artisan. Artisan crafter. Am I wrong?
It might be like a subset of one of them, but I think they broke it out. But yeah, there is a clan crafter.
Where do I see that?
Oh, I see it. It's under backgrounds.
Yeah, it's in
Under
there.
D&D 5e, it's way up at the very top. So what am I looking for here?
Okay, well, I mean, these are all different sort of possible backgrounds about like the history of your character, right? So, a lot of them.
I thought we had settled on something that was more.
Well, we picked your race and your class, but
Oh,
your
all
background's
right. Never
another
mind.
big component of it. Gladiator, maybe.
Yeah, I just clicked on that. That sounds pretty tasty.
Kind of like a person who likes to entertain through his fighting prowess.
I'll tell you what he's not into. He's not into nobility. He's not into taking things because they were handed to him. Like, he wants to prove himself that he is the best and he's the most suited for anything. So, like, Gladiator looks good, or
Outlander, maybe.
Outlander. Yep.
I would say if you wanted to fold it into like your current story, like how you ended up where you are, there could be soldier, mercenary veteran, or knight of the order. Where it would, that would be if like you had joined like this order of the gauntlet, maybe.
Order. No, not none of the order. Let's see.
Mercenary veteran would be, you've
I mean,
been a
soldier sounds
sellsword.
good. War has been your life as long as you can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. I could see soldier, gladiator being a top tier.
Yeah, it's either gladiator, soldier. It's one of those two.
Would you have held any kind of like rank, like official rank or anything before you left your people?
No, I despise it.
Okay. Would they have tried to put one on you?
Yeah, I would inherit I would inherit the throne. It would just be mine. I'd be in charge of my clan. But I said, nope, that's fucked. You have to earn it.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, Gladiator is definitely more about you of coming into your own and sort of you take battle as if it's almost like a performance art in some respects. Like every fight is kind of like this dance to you or this beautiful thing. Maybe, I don't know.
That sounds pretty good. Like once I'm in it, I'm just like, here I am, and let's do this. Yeah.
Or like
All
I
right,
might
let's do that.
like there might be a performance check at some point in battle because you're like trying to do this like perfect fucking silhouette hammer like ball and chain toss or whatever. Like you just really go for like the most glorious.
All right, that sounds good.
All right.
Oh, it burped.
So the reason I was asking that is because you automatically get proficiency in acrobatics and performance from that. Your fighter itself also gets access to proficiency in animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. You have to pick 2 out of that
Good,
list.
man. Perception.
Holy shit. I mean, acrobatics sounds like a necessity.
You already have acrobatics and performance. Athletics is the other one I mentioned.
Athletics. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one sounds
Um,
fantastic. Let's do that.
Perception is pretty solid for a fighter of that style, I would think.
Say that again. Sorry.
Perception
Um,
or
is it perception more like reading people?
it's reading any sort of common information, like noticing something is about to happen. Like noticing this guy's just slipped a dagger out of his boot.
All right. Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds good.
Okay.
I've lost the page.
Gladiator. Okay. So, for you, stat rolls. I've also made a page in the new OneNote, the A2 book, under your section. So, gladiators get +2 strength, +1 con. But we can go ahead and roll your dice sets, your potential stat rolls here. So 4d6. Maybe we need some
Nailed it.
Jambot in here. Alright. So we got a 14, an 11, 12, 11.
I'm pretty mediocre.
Pretty mediocre. 13. One more.
All right.
And a 15. Alright, I'll
There you
clear
go.
this. Next one.
Mediocre.
14.
God damn it. Okay, whatever. That's fine.
Ooh,
No, that's
Ooh,
17.
17.
And a 13. And a
Even it out.
13.
Nice.
Even it out.
And a 14.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
This is win.
9. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, hold on.
Okay.
Alright, one more.
All right.
That's pretty good. 12. 10. 11.
11.
Oh God.
8.
No, not taking this one.
Probably not. 12. One more. It's a
Not
18.
taking this one.
No, okay.
Okay, that's a
Okay.
6.
6.
Alright.
Well, we're gonna go with that first one. I think. Oh no, the
Ooh,
second
that
one's
one's
better,
better.
right?
Yeah, it's second
Second
one.
one's way better.
Second one's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
17, 2 14s.
17,
I mean,
14.
what are the
Way
racial
better.
proficiencies?
I'll be-
He's got
that you
+2 strength and +1 con.
I'll be
damn.
less at something, but I'll be better at something else if I go
Yeah.
with the second.
Dude, +2
Yeah, that's
strength.
awesome.
You could be at 19 strength,
Yeah.
almost
there
like
you
right
go.
off the bat. That's insane, man.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that.
And then
Do it.
and then whenever you get your feet, you could just instead add a stat and be at a 20.
Boy
Which means you
has
have +5.
I was born with 2 feet.
Alright.
We'll do number 2.
Okay. Casey, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, let me just set you up here. So we're doing Tabaxi, yeah?
At
Mm-hmm.
9 though.
Okay, and Bard. So 3 skills. Well, actually, have you thought about the background?
What do you mean?
Like
background?
the actual like the D&D background.
Maybe.
That's what I said.
I
I
have.
was like, what are you
I have
talking
a
about?
quirk. I know what I'm obsessed with. It looks like it's best for me to go Harper's with the current campaign. After looking at the other options I had
Okay.
under the Bard page, is there something else I'm missing?
Yeah. Do you have OneNote open?
Yep.
If you go past, actually before class, in between races, backgrounds.
Backgrounds. Yep. I had this open.
Um,
Go into the Cult of the Dragon.
Okay, so the Cult of the Dragon one are things that you can just stitch onto other core backgrounds.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't thought
so
too
like
much about this just
folk,
quite yet.
Folk hero, maybe.
Perfect.
Pirate, maybe.
Oh yeah, also perfect. Wait, which one's folk hero? I can't. Which number? Or is that,
well, it's just alphabetical. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Can I do this in a second, or is this...
Yeah. We can come back to it. I was just trying to pick your skills. Well, for now, like in case if there's overlap, we'll pick something else. Did you pick? You get 3 skills as a bard to be proficient.
Yes, skills. I think as a tabaxi, I get 2 off the bat. Stealth, and persuasion.
I'm not sure about
Let me double
that.
check. I can read it right here. I have it written down here. Yep, Cat's talents, perception, and stealth skills. So it's called Cat's talents.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay. All right. So yeah, forget about perception and stealth. You already got those locked in.
Let me see what my other options are. I did not look at this yet.
Well, that's why I was asking about background, because some backgrounds also give
help.
you skill proficiencies, so you'd want to pick ones that don't overlap with the tabaxi or the background.
Right, like performance would be a folk hero, so I wouldn't need performance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, we don't have to do it right this second.
I'll come back. I will
why don't
figure this
we?
out shortly.
I'll circle back to Klug.
Perfect.
For your stat totals, Klug, have you figured out what's going where?
Can I do point buy instead?
No.
Oh. Alright. Kinda. Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what did you ask for?
If I could do point buy instead.
What's
What's
point
point
buy?
by?
It's like
It's a different
it's
way
like
of
you
rolling
just
stats.
start with like an array of numbers that you can allocate to a certain degree.
Oh man.
Like a base number?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get
it's
like
just
a
a different
pool
way
of.
of rolling.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I'm so disappointed in my rolls.
I
I don't care.
Dude, your first and last sets were pretty good. All 3 of your sets were fine.
Yeah, no, it's just it's fine. Like I
Okay.
definitely cannot be frontline.
I'll be frontline. I got 17 for my strength. We'll be fine.
Awesome.
So, do you know where you want stuff to go, Klug, or
Yes.
you need time? Okay. All right.
You're picking the first one, right, Klug?
Yeah, no, I have to.
All right. So you've got +2 strength and +1 dex. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So okay, you're picking that first set. I'm putting in the OneNote. Your stats before racial. What's getting the +2? What's going into strength?
Oh right.
Because strength has the +2 for you.
11, 16, 12, 11, 12, 11.
Wait, sorry, you were reading your stats down the line?
Yeah, sorry. Dex is a 16, Con is a 12, Wisdom is a 12. Everything else is the 11.
Okay. I couldn't hear. You can just type in your sheet in Fantasy Grounds the totals.
Oh wait, I don't have a sheet in Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah, you do.
How do I get to it?
Hit PCs.
Aha! Klug the Monk. It. Alright.
So you can just click the main box and type it in
Oh,
there.
cool. Awesome.
Dave.
Oops, sorry,
Hey,
not
Klug,
that.
or Fiddy,
Yeah.
when there's proficiencies that overlap, like for instance a race proficiency and
They
a-
don't double proficient.
Okay.
It's yeah. You
It's a
just
waste of a
pick some-
perception.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wait, how do I change the number in here?
You like click where the box where it says strength 12. You just click it, should get like a black outline. Then you just type.
Oh, you just type it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Am I typing the total or like
Yeah, the total with the racial modifier added in there.
after the okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for my own records, in case your stats ever get changed. Like that's why in OneNote I wanted you to type your list out, just so I have a reference later. All right.
Alrighty, yeah.
Bronzebeard or whatever you're gonna be called.
I'm actually not sure. I mean, so what I'm getting hung up on is I don't want him to be an idiot.
Yeah.
But Dex makes a lot of sense, but I don't want him to be stupid, which 9 feels like you're bordering like on the lower side of intelligence. I know it's a dump stat. I don't imagine him as not intelligent though.
Let's just say I'm going to be a 9 intelligence.
Well, I mean,
and we're
like
from
10,
the same
10 is considered like average intelligence. Like if you were in the village, like 10 would be what most people are,
You were held back a grade.
and most people are like, you know,
That's what I mean. It's like
fairly.
maybe it's
So you're
just
looking at like
a matter
the
of
8 and
fucking
the 9
pride
that you
or
had.
something. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where to put the 8 and the 9, and I know it makes sense to put
I mean,
it
for
in
me,
the
like whenever
stats that
you
I
get
won't use,
interesting
but-
stats or stats you're upset with, it's like it presents depth and a good role-playing experience that you can tack onto the character. I mean, I think it's the more weird grooves you get into the personality, the more you can do with it. So if you want to put it somewhere, you could think about why he would be that way or why he would act a certain way because of it.
I can understand a dex being low for a dwarf, like.
But let's be serious.
So
You
how-
don't know the difference between blue and purple.
You're not helping.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
Or feedback if people have opinions.
Blue is more like green.
I mean, intelligence is like reasoning and memory. Charisma is the force of your personality.
Okay, so
Dexterity is your overall agility.
So if he's fucking stubborn, if he's a stubborn dwarf, which is very typical, does that mean that he has low intelligence?
He'd lack some reasoning. Yeah, maybe.
Depends on if he's so stubborn he's stupid.
Well, I mean, like, yeah,
I don't want him to
if
be
you let your
stupid.
stubbornness take control at times to the point where you maybe don't make the most reasonable decisions, then yes, I would say your stubbornness is affecting your intelligence in some respects.
I've heard it described too as intelligence is book smart and wisdom is street smart.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking of it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Wisdom-
feel less
yeah.
bad about it being a lot of street smart. Like that's cool. Thank
Yeah.
you, Klug.
Yes.
That helped me significantly.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I guess I'll go with the first stats because that seems 17 seems.
Okay. So, yeah, if you could write out what you want your actual stats to be
Yeah, I'll put them
before
in
we
my.
add the racial modifiers, and then with them, and then you can just type them into your character sheet in game.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And then, giant
actually,
fighter.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, one question. I know wisdom is like my main stat.
Mhm.
It's hard to give up like the +2 strength though. I feel like that is actually pretty damn good, and it could make sense for a
Definitely more of a.
blacksmith who relies on his strength pretty significantly. Anybody have any opinions on whether like a +1 wisdom with some extra hit points versus +2 strength? Like, I mean, because essentially I could get.
I mean, you could have less hit points if you're.
I mean, are you going to be hitting people, or are you going to be these?
So after some calculating, I think that with like really the 16 AC that I get automatically from armor, plus the shield, plus I can buff myself, I would start with 19 AC.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
What?
What?
Yeah.
I would start with 19 AC.
I don't
Yeah.
even have that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think that that's why I was kind of hesitating on the if I should just be able to hit things as a good thing. I don't
I
know.
mean, we could just throw you into the middle of the battlefield and
Yeah.
then follow up. 19 AC,
That's
really?
amazing. I have a 14 AC.
How are you figuring that?
So 16 I get from heavy armor. Without Dex, it's a solid 16. If I have a shield, that gives me +2, which puts it at 18.
Wait, how
I
do you
have-
have how do you
his
have heavy
class
armor?
ability.
Because I'm a
Dwarven
dwarf and I'm
combat
a
training?
forge. I'm a
It's
forge
a-
domain cleric, which
goddamn-
means I get automatic heavy armor.
A bronze beard.
Oh shit.
Cause he's a bronze blade.
Oh yeah, heavy armor. Okay.
So and
There
then
it
with
is.
the shield that gives me 16, and then at level 1 I get to add either 1 attack bonus to a weapon, or I can add 1 AC to shield, like to armor. So I could potentially
Alright.
start at 19 AC,
Yep.
which is insane.
That's pretty insane.
So I feel like I should be able to hit things.
God, at level 6, while wearing heavy armor, you get +1 to AC. So you'll be at 20 at level 6 if nothing else goes on. Amazing.
Klug, I need you to be happy with your character choices, okay? You're getting like AC envy over here.
I am. I'm getting super ability envy,
I mean, I guess I'll be hitting things on the front line. It's cool.
and you're the cleric too, so you
Yeah.
don't have any right to be on the front line hitting
Wow,
things.
there's
Clerics
like
get on the front
battle
line,
clerics.
I'm a
Yeah, man.
dwarf.
War
What are
cleric.
you talking about?
A dwarf
Clerics?
cleric, I guess so.
No, but I mean, clerics in general can be battle
Yeah, yeah.
masters.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
That's
And
the
then no one
paladin's
will shoot
job.
at them because that's the...
Well,
right?
I mean, the
I
more you
don't-
get hit, the harder it's going to be to maintain a concentration spell. But
hmm
That's true.
Well, I'll figure it out. Sorry
Yeah.
to distract everybody.
yeah,
That's cool.
Oh.
that's what
No,
we're
no, no,
doing.
that's fine.
This is what this is.
What this is.
All right, Kyle, if you go to PCs, you can click Giant Fighter for now. You can rename it later.
I will rename it later.
So for you, stats.
My dice is in the way. I'm looking for it. Strength for sure is going to be my 17.
Okay, so you're taking that second roll that had the 17.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And 14 will be Dex.
Okay. And
And
then
then-
what about the other 14?
So what was the difference between intelligence and wisdom again?
Yeah, I mean, I think Klug's thing is it's a good example. It's wisdom is more like worldly smart, and intelligence is kind of like more book smart.
I want wisdom 14 for sure.
Okay.
13 in.
Okay. Constitution.
13 con. And then the old, just put the dumpy 9 charisma. No, I'm not allowed to talk to anybody.
Okay.
I hope someone has really high charisma in our
So
group.
your strength goes up to 19, and your con goes up to 14.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll punch that in since I got this here. That is a lot of
Wait,
strength.
so should we put in like for our
Your
abilities?
total with the racial
total
modifier.
with the racial. Okay.
Yes. Whoa.
Yosh.
And then 9.
As my friend Sean Connery would say.
Okay. You are pretty much set up on your end.
Giant fighter.
I'm
That's
ready, by the
not
way.
his name.
Okay. You
Whatever.
get one type of musical instrument proficiency, Kyle, based off of your.
Wait, I get musical proficiency?
I think we should like house rule that. Yeah, that came from like the gladiator kind of being partly a performer.
Hey, look, I'll solve this right now. Whistle.
Rape whistle?
No, regular well, yeah, rape them whistle.
I mean,
They're they're not gonna have fun. I put my fingers in my mouth and I whistle.
So your fingers?
I would say you could swap out musical tool proficiency with something else from like another background that makes more sense, like a gaming set or some kind of like vehicle, like wagon driving or whatever the fuck.
Wagon driving?
I don't
Doesn't
know.
make any. I don't know.
What
Alright.
what do they got in the?
No, let me
Noble
just
Knight?
whistle. I'll whistle
Okay.
really loud.
Yeah, you
Like
can do
it'll do
private
like a
too.
stun or some
Knights
shit.
Knights always get like gaming sets.
Is there like a not common kind of like a dice kind of thing that I can do where it's just like rocks and like pine cones?
If you want to make something up, then sure.
Yeah, let's rocks and pine cones.
Knights.
That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game.
No, even looking at like Knights of the Order, they get a gaming set or a musical instrument in terms of. Yeah, I guess it's like a little something to keep you busy when you're on the road.
Yeah, I like to throw. I mean, I'd say whistle. Let's
Okay,
go with
let's
whistle.
go with whistle. Yeah.
I put my fingers in my mouth and I whistle. Because it's a very loud, like a mountainous whistle, like something that would cause an
Great.
avalanche.
Great. All right.
Whoa.
Casey.
Yeah.
Tabaxi Bar.
Folklore.
Folklore.
Yeah.
Alright.
Makes more
Folkira?
sense. Folk hero, yeah.
Okay.
Because the defining event was he was a slave, stood up to the tyrant's agents, basically.
Okay.
Asians.
Yep.
Stood up to the Asians.
Pretty much.
It's not Simon did that.
Goddamn Asians.
Personality trait.
So with Tabaxi, and Folklore or Folk Hero coming into play. One sec, let me get this. Choose any three. Let me just make a new dummy character just to dump this on. Sec. Alright, so you already have animal handling, perception, stealth, and survival. You can see this on your sheet, right? If you go to the skills tab. You get to pick 3 more. Arcana, persuasion, nature, medicine, perception, survival, or you already have perception.
Does Barb not get
Performance.
persuasion or performance?
Performance is an option, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say persuasion.
Acrobatics. Fucking any skill, I think, actually. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's pretty much any skill you want. And I have to fix Fantasy Grounds skill link is broken for the description there, so if you have a question, just ask me.
We don't have a lot of persuasive people in our group.
I mean, don't Pathfinder, persuade, or performance. A lot of my skills are based off of.
Yeah.
So I'm
Performance makes a lot of sense.
Yep, I'm gonna do
me.
performance.
Okay, so you get 2 more.
Jesus.
If I'm acting as a face, I'm gonna go persuasion.
Makes sense.
Um,
Yeah, and then I mean any other skill. So sleight of hand, arcana, acrobatics, athletics, insight, which is trying to like read the situation. Investigation.
Can I wait to figure out this last one? Because
Yeah.
if I roll shitty on wisdom, or depending on where I mitigate my stats, it might depend on where I put this.
Sure.
Oh,
I
did you
have a
not
couple
roll
in
yet?
mind. No.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just under your notes. I'm just gonna put has 1 skill.
Because I have a couple in mind based off of my character. I just want to know what my rolls
Okay.
are gonna be.
Sure. All right. So you ready to roll stats then?
Guess. How many times do I do this? 6?
6 times.
2.
11,
Sorry, I'm
12.
just
Getting my 1 note up. Here.
Oh, there it
18.
is. There it is.
18.
Whoa, the elusive 18. Hold on.
14.
5.
12.
Oh,
16,
17.
6.
17.
17.
Wow, that's a
Jesus
good roll.
fucking
That's
Christ.
a
Fuck.
good roll.
So I have to
Okay.
do this 2 more times?
2 more times.
God.
Yeah. Klug's gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
Alright, there you go.
The new character.
12.
2,
13.
13.
3.
13.
13.
God, what are
That
you
first,
using your
that
Steam
first
controller?
roll. Yeah.
Is Steam controlling?
7.
Oh,
5.
here it is.
Six. Yeah,
Here's the other
6.
end of the pendulum.
Yeah,
God
swing
damn
both
it.
ways.
Alright, hold on.
Wow.
Alright, last one.
That first roll
1.
was fucking godlike. Oh.
12.
What is that, 12?
Yeah.
2. Oh boy, that's bad.
9.
9.
3.
Yeah.
Oh,
15.
Another
Just
9.
That's
Dude,
fair.
that
It's 15.
that fucking
They did
first
twice.
one.
Oh, I see.
No, it's fine.
Uh,
Yeah, 15.
Last one, 17
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
or 16. Yes.
Like that first roll is the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the first one.
yes. No question.
Yep.
Okay, so for you,
How do
I
you
want
want to
charisma
murder
and dex.
yeah, you get +2 to
Dex with my race, 1
Yeah.
to charisma.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry. Which stats are going where for you?
Can you? Is there a way you can post or paste the final numbers?
Yes.
So you can see where I'm going. Okay.
Damn, dude. You could have a
God.
20 dex. Jeez.
Wow, you could. Holy shit.
Okay, let's do
Wow.
a 19 charisma. A
So you're gonna put the
19
17
dex.
in charisma.
I'm gonna put the 18 in
Oh,
charisma.
so 17 dex, 18 charisma.
Yep.
Okay.
Holy fuck, dude.
I'm gonna go. Let's go with wisdom. Oh shit, man. I don't need much strength, so let's go with 11 into strength.
Okay.
I don't think I need strength. So let's see. I've done 16.
I mean,
17,
are
18.
you gonna be more of like a finesse type
Yeah.
weapon user? Okay.
Yeah. Constitution, is that just my health? Is that right? My vitality and stuff?
Yeah. Counts your hit points and
Let's
your ability
do-
to resist certain spells or poisons and stuff.
Let's do 14 there.
Okay.
16 into wisdom.
So 12 intelligence.
12 intelligence. That's not bad, right? That's not.
Yeah.
stupid.
So here, I'm just putting your
You're
final.
better than us, dude.
That's not Bronzebeard level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gra is like, you're a math whiz.
All right.
Wait,
so
what
you've
is
got
Gra?
11 strength.
I think he's like a 10.
19
You're
dex.
smarter than my guy.
Oh, by 1.
No.
But I have no people skills. I'm a 9.
Truly a heroic character.
Dude,
I felt like
I'm a
I
fucking 8 at people.
I put
Oh!
14. I put 14 in con just so I have a little extra HP because I know my AC is only 14.
Shit, I might change this around.
Dude,
Fiddy.
no, we're mountain people. We're from the mountain.
No, I might change this
We're
around.
mountain
Fiddy,
people.
I gotta be more
Yeah.
intelligent than
I would-
Grog the fucking Goliath.
I split my dex and
I'm
charisma
smart,
to be the
man.
highest. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's what I want. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
You're smart,
So
people.
I got like the one thing I do have to update manually is hit points. So I'll just start with you since we're kind of here. So it's one. You get max level at level 1, whether you roll or not. So you automatically get the 8, and then plus your con modifier, which we now know is 2. So you have 10 hit points
10.
to start, which I've updated. Klug, I think we definitely have to update yours.
Yep, okay, climb vehicle.
Monk has a D8, so 8 plus your con is 1, so you're at 9. Okay, Kyle, Gra. Fighter uses a D10, so you get 10 plus that, so you're 12. And Dave, are you tweaking stats?
Dude, I'm so tweaking stats right now.
I'm from the same mountain, man. Got the same.
I know everybody likes the polar opposite things, but
We have the same
I'm
rocks
still not
flowing
sold
through
on
our
that shit.
veins.
because I'm trying to think of like, because level 4 we get stat, at least the cleric gets stat improvement. Or a feat, right?
I'm sorry?
Thing. Is ability score improvement or a feat, right?
Who
At
were we
level
talking about?
4. Level 4 for a cleric.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking at the
everyone's
stat.
level 4. Yeah, every 4 levels you get ability score improvement. You get 2 points or 1 point to one, like to 2 different stats. 2 points to 1 stat, or a feat.
Yeah, I mean, just do the whatever I have there. I'll
Whatever
figure it out. If it changes it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
So wait, for the insight, that's what you do to, like you said, to judge a situation, see someone's lying to you, detect your surroundings, right? Is that what that would be? Or that's
Yeah.
perception too, I guess.
Yeah, well, insight's like when you're actively trying to like figure out if someone's like whether like if you're talking to somebody,
Mhm.
like an insight check would be like you gauging like what they've just told you is like bullshit.
Fuck, I don't know if I want insight, acrobatics, or deception. I gotta pee again.
I mean, the shitty thing is I have persuasion and religion, which are both charisma and intelligent based, and I'm just fucking like
Wait, did you just switch stuff?
-1. No, I have -1 in those. So even though I'm proficient in it, I only have a +1 in that. It's like, is it? I can't change that.
What the fuck?
Like, how do you become proficient in like perception or something actually useful?
Sorry, I'm doing math and
Is it perception wisdom?
urinating. Yeah, perception's wisdom based.
So your wisdom's pretty high, so you should be able to
No, no, no.
all
Automatically.
sorts of shit.
No, I know, but if I'm proficient in it, you get what, +3?
+2.
My God.
I like that's getting louder and
It's-
louder.
it's- yeah, it's really picking up in there.
So I have a +4.
What do you add? I need you to start over.
Okay. So currently I'm proficient in persuasion and religion.
So proficient, anything you're proficient in just means it scales with level. So you see, like you start level 1, you have a +2 proficiency bonus. Like that plus bonus gets fed into like all your attacks and skills. Anything that you're
Okay.
proficient with.
My question is, how do I put it into something that's actually useful? Because I have -1s to both of those stats, to charisma and intelligence.
Well, you be a bard, you get to level 3, and then you can double whatever
Yeah.
proficiency you have.
Boom.
You get
Done.
more of those stats.
That's it. I'm playing a bard. Forget it. We're gonna have 2 bards. We're gonna go double bard.
Let's go troop.
Which one will be the best songstress?
I mean, I have no issue with people saying that they studied something else than if you want to change one of your proficiencies. I don't give a fuck. You get 4 of them basically as a dwarf cleric with your
Look
background.
at Fiddy's face. He doesn't give a
I give a fuck.
fuck.
If you tell me that
Okay.
you studied something else and you're a slightly different dwarven cleric, fine.
Okay.
Tell him what you studied.
I'm a
What
fucking.
did you fucking study?
I'm so bad at religion. It's ridiculous.
Great.
Like I'm the worst.
You're
cleric.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
just
Who cares about
terrible.
religion? You just like building things and happen to
shit,
find a
dude.
god that appreciates your work.
But listen,
Why
Your
would
god
you
is
study
your
other?
tools.
Why would you
Your
study
god is
other
your
religions?
tools.
Fiddy,
Your
Fiddy,
character thinks he's religious, but he's really not. He was like brought up
Yeah.
religious, but he's not, and
He's just
but
a
let's
fucking
be honest.
bronze beard. He's a bronze beard.
Let's
Yeah.
be honest. He's perceptive as fuck because he has to be able to tell
No.
what the traps and what the weapons and shit are made of, right?
Does he though? Does he blow himself up all the time?
No, he's not blowing himself up, but I'm just saying, like, perception-wise, he has to be like really high up on perception in
I mean,
order
if
to be able to
you're all
detect
about
s-
finding old weird tech and fucking breaking it down and studying it, then yeah, you would probably have to go into some shitty situations where you'd want to be on your toes. I'd give you that.
Alright, perception.
Okay.
Fiddy, I'm gonna go acrobatics. I think it just makes sense
Okay.
for my character,
All right.
who's a pirate, cat
Yeah.
pirate. Makes sense.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
makes sense.
And a performer
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about doing some sweet ass performances later.
So
Also,
yeah.
I just want you guys to know, as a bard, my best weapon is you guys. So
Oh.
don't get
Oh.
mad by me playing you, because that's what fucking bards do. Just want you to
It
know
rhymes,
that.
so it's true.
What musical instruments? Like, how do you perform?
Well, of course I'm gonna have like a lute. I gotta have my stringed instrument.
Okay.
Doy.
Yeah,
That makes
no
sense.
delay. I want an ocarina. Oh shit.
Please have like a cello or something, or like
Well,
a
apparently you're
violin.
proficient in 3 musical
3 of
instruments
them.
of your choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see a list of. I'm trying to look for a
Oh,
list.
cowbell.
Oh, dude. So yeah, if you click
Cowbell.
items on the right
okay,
there,
okay.
and then under, let's see, type, is it?
Fuck is
I think it's under
items?
tools. Yeah, there you go.
I feel, is it equipment and then items?
No, well you can just do items, and then all the filters, if you go to type and change it to tools
I'm sorry, dude. I don't even see items.
in Fantasy Grounds.
Oh, I'm in OneNote.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Gotcha.
that kind of stuff's easier to look at in Fantasy Grounds, I think, just
Okay,
because
okay.
all the filters and shit.
I'm sorry. So where am I looking? I'm
So
in
it should
the
be like a button for
library.
items.
Okay. Get out of here, backgrounds. I don't even like you anymore. Items. Okay. Cool. Checking it twice.
And you can make that window nice and big. Go
Yeah,
to
make it
type.
huge. Yep. Get out of here, type. Where are you, type?
All the way at the second one from the bottom, and then you can kind of scroll through the
Okay.
pull out for tools. And there'll be other stuff in there, but it's you know, like actually,
Armor.
you can just do music.
Give me my instruments, motherfucker.
Because like yeah, there's weird shit in there. You might have to
Wondrous
Google
items.
what the hell it is.
Weapon, treasure, tools. Which one is it?
Tools.
Tools. Yes, sir. Give me the tools. Here they are. Okay.
Some of them are not instruments, but if you click them, they say like right under the name.
Draw. Okay, so it's not really giving me all the tools. It's red.
Hmm?
Does that mean it can't find what I'm looking for?
Let me screen share. Oh, do you not have the module loaded?
I thought I did. I went to the... Where's my stupid fucking book? Go back to the library. Go into stupid modules. No, it's loaded.
Looks like you got it. Yeah.
Okay. So
What
yeah, if
page
you go
is
to,
it?
if you see my screen share, if you just go to items,
Yep.
make sure maybe up here is this not on all at the very top.
Sure. Sorry, everything's really slow. I'm only on a surface right now.
Sorry.
Alright,
Really impressive.
okay, so here I'm type tools.
Oh, don't type. So are you just typing in the search? Maybe that's what it is.
I just did I went to type and then hit tools.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, and then hit
Do you
all.
see what I see?
Oops. I'm gonna when I find what I'm looking for. There we go. God damn it. Okay, show me on the doll. Okay, yep. Okay, then I did see that. Yep.
So you can click around there.
Cool.
I don't know what
let's
some of this shit actually is.
Yeah,
like
see, I
Zolcoon.
was confused because I saw alchemist supplies. I'm like,
Oh,
that
yeah.
can't be an instrument.
No, yeah, there's not like a sub filter, but if you click on something, you could see like it says under here, tools, musical instrument.
Okay, cool. Alright, well, we're gonna do...
Alright.
Alright, give me a second. I'll
Yeah,
make
you
the
dig
move.
into that. We'll jump around a little bit.
I'm changing my stats, Fitty.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I did the math on it, and even though I have 2 17s in the first one, I have like so many -1s to so many ability checks. It does not seem worth it to me.
Okay.
So
Do
I'm
it
gonna
now.
change that shit out.
Mediocre.
Fiddy, I'm gonna
Yeah.
change my race.
Okay.
Oh shit! What are you?
I'm gonna be an Aarakocra.
Oh fuck yes,
What
you
is?
are.
What even is an Aarakocra?
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes, you
I
are.
was considering doing that, but it just didn't fit my character.
Is
No,
it the
but
bird person?
It fits
Yeah.
your character so well. I love it.
Alright, I'm
Do it.
deleting your character sheet. and
It's a
making
it's a bird person, right?
I'll be a
Mhm.
burp person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bird person.
Burp person.
Caca.
Cacao, motherfuckers! Shit.
Shit. You ever see what's it called?
Alright,
Oh
what
my god.
what background? Sorry. Actually, what 2 skills do you want from Monk?
Shit.
Yeah, acrobatics.
What was it?
Well, did you have a
Yeah, yeah,
background
yeah.
in mind already, too?
Yep, it was all that. So, athletics and insight.
Okay.
Athletics and insight. I have a musical instrument, drum.
Which background?
Acolyte. It's gonna be the
Okay.
cloistered scholar of the dragon.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. I just mixed all the business. Here we'll do your skill proficiencies manually in a second because I have a bastardization happening here. So cloistered scholar, you get to pick one skill proficiency: Arcana, Nature, or Religion.
Yep.
You got a preference? Arcana and religion both kind of play into the cult stuff, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I think I'll go Arcana.
okay. Um,
I love the.
Because it
I'm,
comes with history. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm
It
so
comes with
glad you're
history.
playing them.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you get history and Arcana from Cloistered Scholar, and then Cult of the Dragon. You're taking the Dragon Scholar feature.
Dragon Scholar, yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So from Monk, you gain 2 skills in addition to that from acrobatics,
Athletics and insight.
Okay.
Athletics and insight, yeah.
Athletics, insight.
And then history and Arcana, or history, Arcana, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
That's it.
Okay. So for you, your racial stat bonus is +2 dex then,
Cool.
and +1 wisdom. Cool. So, where are you putting your 16? Did you already
Dex.
math it out?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
So-
cool. So it's that what you have at the bottom there?
Yeah.
17,
At the
12
bottom?
of your OneNote?
Oh,
right?
that was from before. Hang on one second.
Okay.
I didn't update that. Let me do that.
Oh, okay. You can just
So it'll
paste it. If you
be
want.
da-da-da.
Or just
Oh,
tell
so
me.
that's all the same. So it's gonna be, yeah. So instead of doing this,
Why don't you just read off to me
it'll
what it
be
is? So
13.
strength is.
Yes. So total,
Yeah,
it's gonna
total.
be 11.
11 strength. Okay.
Yeah. Dex is gonna turn into 18. Con's 12. Int is 11. Wisdom's 13. And Charisma's 11.
Okay.
Sent you a video of the bird people.
Ooh, a video of bird people.
Yep, it's in the D&D chat.
Yup.
Okay, cool. So you get to pick 2 artisan tools and 1 musical instrument, Klug, and 2 languages of your choice.
I hope one's dwarvish.
Nope. I'm gonna do. Actually, no. Here, let's
If you're
do it.
if you're a
let's do it.
Draconic scholar, you would probably know
Yeah.
Draconic.
So it's Draconic. There's also Aarakocra comes with Aaron. Yeah, I'll do Dwarvish.
Giant.
Dwarven, Common, Draconic, Aarakocra.
Fitty.
Yep.
If I went with a horn instrument, could I potentially cut the horn off of a dragon later and?
Fuck yeah, you could. Fuck yeah, you could.
I was just
If
curious.
you'd have to find a dwarf who was willing to take on exotic projects, probably.
Oh,
Okay, I
I
think I
just
might
so
know.
happen to know one.
Okay.
You put your mouth up to that horn.
Okay.
And blow dragon music.
Blow it hard.
Type of artisan's tools or 1 musical instrument. I get 1 type of artisan tools or 1 musical instrument.
Common,
Drum.
coconut orange. Oh yeah, well.
Actually, musical instrument.
Let's see. Casey, you also have to pick a language that you know in addition to common.
I'm gonna
Why?
pick. Yeah, let me know when you come back to me because I have some
Okay.
things.
All right, Gra, how you the Iron Comet Rockjaw. So you've already picked a weapon. You can wear all manner of armor and shield. What are you starting with? Kyle?
What's up? Sorry.
I'm talking.
I want. So you're saying I can have a shield or I can have a weapon?
No. Okay, hold on. Let me circle back here. So I've added the Iron Comet weapon already.
Yes, that is what I want.
I'm saying you're proficient in all manners of armor and shield.
Okay.
What background did you go? Gladiator. You can start with actually fighter. I think they have a different starting set. Hold on. Alright, yeah. So you can pick chainmail or leather armor.
I will go with leather armor as it's
Really?
more in.
Okay. I mean, you're not like a tribal barbarian per se. If you're a
I mean, I'm
gladiator fighter.
I'm from the mountains. Like, I'm from the high up mountains. All I know is leather.
Okay.
Leather and ball and chain. Yeah.
Sick. How'd that work? Okay, leather added. Well, since you choose leather, you also get access to like a ranged weapon. Do you want it to be bow and arrow or javelins?
Either of those are appealing to my. It's all about that ball and chain.
Well, I mean,
Not gonna-
if there was a giant hawk flying overhead that you wanted to kill with murderous rage, how would you hit it?
He would definitely throw something at it. It would definitely be a javelin.
Okay.
I
Now
mean,
we're
just
cooking.
shooting using a firearm is not honorable.
Preferable.
Yeah.
You know, but if you need to bring it down so it comes back to the ground level with you.
He trusts his own arm. He will throw something at it.
Okay. All right. So you've got that. Your thing's two-handed, right? So no shield
Yeah.
for you.
No.
You get a couple like bonus things, like it says light crossbow with bolts or two hand axes. I imagine hand axes would be
Hand axes for sure.
your style.
Which I will strap to my chest if need.
I can improve those.
I may not use them. I may just give them out to the party.
I could use those and break them apart for components.
I mean, would you prefer to just have like a big ass great axe that you just have on hand for chopping things instead of two hand axes?
I mean, that's definitely preferable.
Okay, let's do that. I think that sounds better.
The bigger, the better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let go of my the Iron Comet unless it's
Right.
Unless
But
I'm
you know,
gonna
if
die.
you had to like chop a door down or
yeah,
body up.
exactly. Yep. Definitely use a big old axe.
Alright, and then Explorer's Pack. All the goodies.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Have you guys ever seen the website Hero Forge? You can basically make like
Oh,
a
yeah.
mini of your character.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking amazing.
pretty
Here,
cool.
I'm gonna put this in the chat. I see your video first. Bird person. Oh yeah, bird person.
Yeah, click
Oh, wait.
that.
Haha.
My balls.
Ha!
Cool. Alright, I think Gra's pretty much functional.
I'm online and operational.
Cool. Casey, you ready to talk some things?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the Yarting. It's pretty much like a guitar from
Okay.
So I'm gonna take that as one of my weapons or my instruments.
So,
Yep.
you can type this out if you want. So if you go to your character sheet where it says proficiencies,
Okay.
right now it
okay.
says tools, 3 musical instruments of your choice. You can just delete
Oh shit.
that and just start typing their 3 things in there.
Come on, baby, you can do it, you motherfucker. Everything is slow as shit right now.
Go with
Alright.
the dice.
You can just tell me. You can just type
Oh,
in
I'm
chat.
gonna. Okay, all right. Let me just. Okay, yeah.
So Yarting? What is that? What's it called?
Yarting. Yeah, it's pretty much a guitar
Oh, I
that
see it. I
is
see it.
based
Yeah.
in I'm going to do the horn,
Okay.
and one more wind instrument is gonna be bagpipes.
Oh,
hmm
very nice.
Bagpipes.
And so upon
Non-traditional.
on top of common, I'm also gonna do draconic because
Okay.
ever since he's been displaced from his people and his family, he's made it kind of a vendetta to search and study, like the reasoning behind it. The reason why he knows this is he's grabbed every piece of literature he can find to learn
Okay.
uh, language of the dragons.
You
Now, oh yeah,
you also get access to one
Mhm.
type or one training of artisans tools.
mm-hmm.
I think there's a table.
What does that give me? Let me check this out.
So it could be like alchemist supplies, brewer supplies, calligraphy, carpentry, cartography, maps, cobblers, cooking, glass blowing, jewel working, leather working, masonry, painting, potter's tools, like I guess pottery, smithing tools, tinker tools, weaver tools, or wood carving.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll have to come back to that one.
All right. Here, I'll paste this in the G chat.
Fuck, there's so many things.
I know.
Bards have so much shit. It's kind of
They're very
mind-boggling.
robust.
Robust.
I think that's the last thing you have to pick, though, other than, like, you already, I think, had talked about some of your weapons and shit.
Yeah, then I gotta do spells, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you are robust.
Yeah. I get 4 spells and 2 cantrips.
We picked your
More
last
spells.
skill proficiency, right? I think
Me?
Yeah. You said you were still waiting to pick one originally. I think we picked acrobatics, right?
Yeah, acrobatics.
Yeah. Okay.
For my performing.
Cool.
For my bagpiping.
All right. Let me know when you take a look at that.
Yeah. Cartographer.
Cartographer.
As a pirate, it makes the most sense.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. You do the maps, navigating. And it says like you get vehicle land, but I say we just change it to sea.
Yep. Makes
Cool.
the most sense.
Okay. In that case, for Bard.
Yeah. Bring it. 2 cantrips, 4 spells.
All right, hold
Ready.
on. Before we get to spells,
Okay.
Oh god damn it, my window.
Weapons?
Yeah. Let's just get the gear shit done.
I was hoping to get the whip, but I know it's not part of the initial.
No. I love the whip. Let's do the whip.
And if I was allowed to have a second weapon, I was
Yep.
thinking the bolus would be more like this character would have a bolus on him to CC the shit out of people.
I don't know if they have Ebola in.
It should be BOLAS, I think, is what they.
What is it?
That'd be bolas.
BOLAS.
Yeah. I don't think that's.
Oh, it was in the one note.
Is it? Let me
It's
check.
like a thing.
I mean, I know what Ebola is. I didn't know.
Do you, Fiddy?
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I'm double checking too.
I don't know if there's anything that's equivalent that I could reskin. I'm checking.
Fiddy, how do you get the equipment to start? Like add items to the equipment?
If you have to go to your inventory page.
Yeah, I'm on that.
And
then-
then if you go to the items.
Yeah, I don't
And you
see that list.
Search. What do you mean?
Yeah, you know how you'd see like the carried or equipped or something in the item list?
Oh.
I don't see, like, there's no lines there that I can add to.
No. What you want to do
Here, I'll
is
release my characters so you can.
Well, you don't need to. I can always access it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see one right now. Sorry for the.
Well, since you've released it, I can. There you go. I can show you on the Watcher character on my screen share.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
so yeah, if you just go to items, and I accidentally clicked like 5,000 things. But let's say like, I want to add anything to, you just go to the inventory tab, and then like let's say I wanted to add leather armor. Just start typing leather. There's leather. Just drag and drop it. and it's there. And then this bag is whether or not it's equipped or carried. Yeah.
It is. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And then it should start affecting like your stats and stuff. All right, Casey.
I didn't see what. I didn't see it. I
Bola.
must
Yeah,
have found it somewhere
I'm
else.
googling it though. And I see stats for one, so I'm happy to use it. It sounds fine.
Okay.
I'll just
'Cause it
paste
would
it.
be-
I'll make it a thing
it's more of a
in Fantasy
ranged.
Grounds right now. Just
Yeah,
give me it needs a
okay,
minute.
okay.
Cool. There we go.
So those are the two I was gonna go with. I mean, most of them would be a spellcaster, but
Okay.
it's like a utility weapon, I guess, like a dagger would be for most people. Because I don't need daggers because I have cat claws as one of my abilities. It's called cat claws.
Yep. Alright.
Whatever does it do?
It increases my climbing speed to 20 feet and gives me slashing damage 1d4 plus strength modifier.
Alright. Well, speaking of leather, you start with leather.
Yeah.
And you start with a dagger. Do you just want to replace the bolas with that? Since dagger's kind of thrown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. And you start with. We'll say you start with instead of a lute, with that guitar thing.
Yeah.
just,
The yin tang.
yarding.
Yarding, yeah, whatever the hell it is.
And then
Yin
you get to
tang
have
or-
one other musical instrument on you that you start with that you have.
I picked 3: the horn.
Well, those are the 3 that
bagpipes.
you're a master at, like you're trained
Oh,
in.
okay.
Item wise, you get 2 of the 3 to have with
Okay.
you right now.
The other one is it was called a guar, Guar. It plays like a trumpet, but it's tiny with 2 horns that stick out on either end.
Oh, like the thing from 300.
How do you spell it?
Guar.
Are you sure?
It's like a Peter Pan flute, but like 2 like horns.
That was in the list you looked at?
And I think maybe I'm spelling it right. Gaur.
Oh,
Oh,
Glower. G.
Glower. Oh,
Glower.
sorry, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a type of horned instrument. Oh yeah, cool, like cornucopia. Cool. All right, so you've got instruments. Get your entertainers pack in here.
Oh my god. What else do I have to do?
I think that's just the spells and shit.
Daddy's ready for those.
Okay.
That's probably what I've done the
It's-
most homework on.
It's easy for me.
Yep.
In here.
Vicious Mockery for my so just to make sure I get 2 cantrips and
Okay.
4 level 1s.
Let's double
Is
check.
that correct?
Let me double check. Bar.
Foxy, you're snoring.
Yeah, what'd you say? 2
I get
cantrips?
2 cantrip and 4 level 1s.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Vicious Mockery will be the
Okay.
first cantrip.
Added.
And a Thunderclap
Okay.
would be the second one.
Done.
And then for my level 1s, Comprehend Language. Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Mhm.
Jesus. Awesome.
That's
And then the other 2. Now I'm kind of torn, and I kind of want to talk to the party about this one.
Okay.
There's 2 that are really cool that I was kind of going with a thundery kind of feel to this character. Like for whatever reason, he's pulled to thunder. So Thunder Wave is kind of a neat ability. It let's see, I have it pulled up here. I'll read it to you. Thunder Wave, a wave of thunder sweeps out from around you. Each creature within a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage and is not pushed. Later on, this increases. I don't know if that hurts, if that does TKs,
Is that friendly?
and that was my question.
It says
Oh,
all creatures.
What
right?
spell's that under?
Thunder Wave?
Yeah, I think we take damage.
Thunder
Okay,
Wave?
so then I might not be able to do
Okay.
Thunderclap either. I might do something else other than Thunderclap.
Yeah,
as well
every
then.
creature. Yeah. So friend and
Fuck. Because the Thunderclap is a cantrip, and it does that, and it does a
Oh wow.
it does a shitload of damage too later on. Like level
mean,
17,
just
it's
take it.
46.
Yeah, I mean, communicate. You
Okay.
have to
What?
get some coordination.
Yeah, be all like, get out of there, and I'll be like,
I'm doing it.
I mean,
The
Yeah.
wave.
I'm doing.
I
the
don't
thing.
believe in it.
I think I have a spell that can protect somebody from damage at some point.
So Thunderwave.
And the other
it
one
is?
was
What's the other one?
well, Thunder. The other one is Dissonant Whisper.
Do we
You
play George
whisper-
Michael every time you?
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Careless Whisper.
You whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear, racking it with terrible pain. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage. It must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from you. The creature doesn't move into obvious danger, like a fire pit or anything like that. But on a successful save, it takes half the damage and doesn't move. Deafened
pretty
creatures
Strong.
automatically succeed the save. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna do Dissonant Whispers then.
It's 60-foot range too, which is quite far to.
Yeah. For a 3d6 psychic
Yeah,
damage.
and it's
thing.
scaled. The damage can scale with level if you use slots.
Oh yeah, look at that. Level 2 increases 1d6 for each slot. Ooh. Above the first level. Okay.
Am I still screen sharing? Let me show you some neat, fun stuff on your character sheet since we're talking about spells.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna add a bunch of random spells here. So you can kind of like some spells, you can kind of see all like the damage bits on there if you click these little magnifying glasses. Give me one that has multiple. There we go. So like I already kind of minimized it on yours, but like you can fold up sections
Mhm.
just by clicking on it.
Yeah.
And then just like before, you've got like the combat action sort of.
Are you on the actions page when you were doing that?
Yeah. Well, you know what it
And-
was like. I'm dragging which spells this character technically doesn't have access to, so he doesn't have spell
Okay.
slots.
So I guess my question is, I have a fuck ton of spells. I can just drag everything over
Yes.
right now.
So you can literally go to Source Cleric, and it might be just to keep things simple and clean for now. Go to Level and do 0 for cantrips. Add all those. Well, actually, you pick cantrips, right? I think you
Yeah,
have to
but I get
pick a few.
I get to
specific.
pick them every day, correct?
Not
so I need all
cantrips.
of these
Cantrips are like the tricks that you know.
forever.
Yeah, but everything past that you just know. So yeah,
I'll have to do my research. For,
Yeah, you can-
for sure. Mending's for sure
Yeah.
gonna be one. Like that makes
well,
sense.
as far as easy access though, you can filter. So cleric level 0, pick your
Yeah.
cantrips. Level
And
1, just literally drag every single one on here, and then like what I was doing, you kind of just minimize these by clicking the little magnifying glass. Yeah, you literally just drag them all in. Oh yeah, look at those spells. Happy little spells. And these little dragon heads should link to the little details.
Where do you minimize it?
The little magnifying glass. Like when you first drag it, it shows all the guts of like the math. You can just
Right.
kind of hide it. And then you can minimize sections like this. And then when you go to combat actions, if you actually have slots for it, you can do your stuff.
Fiddy, is there a way to change our character portrait?
Yeah, I just put dump shit in there just for today. I usually like once we get the character art rolling.
Is it? Do you do that, or can we do that?
I mean, I'd be happy for you to send me stuff. I'll put it into the thing, but I'm hoping between tonight and before Saturday I have character art for everyone so I can make tokens and stuff.
I will eventually get a couple healing spells, but like I said, I'm going to. My thought process is if they can't hit us, we won't need to heal as much.
And my thought process is I will heal a lot.
But I will get some cure, or I get something level 2 as well. That I will get.
Nice. Oh,
Um,
here we go.
Fiddy, there's something about rituals that bards can perform, and everywhere I've read, I don't understand when it's telling me, like I can perform a spell as a ritual.
Oh,
And I don't-
so yeah, ritual's like a whole different type of spell casting. It's kind of like it won't use a spell slot, or right?
Okay.
Like you can kind of prepare it in advance.
So like I could, if I did have like a healing wave or whatever, I could use that as a ritual and it doesn't use a spell slot.
I believe that is correct. Let me double check.
The only problem is it takes a
I-
minute to cast.
Right, so it's
Okay,
like
so
you
you're
can't
out
be
of
on your
out of combat.
toes with it. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
I've
There's
never
some
actually
really amazing
had.
rituals out
There
there.
are. I've never had anyone fucking use one in a game. So
I've
I
always
need
wanted to
actually look it
roll
up.
like the ritual caster feat because basically you get a spell book and you can add rituals to it as you discover them in the world, and they level up to your character level, not your class level. And so it's like if you're 10th level and you want to cast like identify magic, right, or like detect magic, those can be cast as rituals. Just
Yeah.
the thing is, you gotta sit with it for like a minute.
Yeah, so like under spells, if you're curious, I mean, like there's other ways of looking at it in the OneNote too, but in Fantasy Grounds, if you go to spells, there's a filter for ritual. I have it on the
Okay.
screen share. You can just say
This was saying
yes,
It has to be
and you could even
tagged.
filter it from like Bard, and these are all the Bard rituals right here. So, but I pasted the thing. I'll post it in here too.
You say it was under skills or spells?
Spells.
Spells, that makes sense.
Yeah. I pasted what the ritual description is in all the chats.
Okay.
So yeah, they follow all the normal requirements of the spell.
Okay.
But yeah, they take 10 minutes longer to cast than normal.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, there you go.
10 minutes more than normal. So you need 10 minutes for the ritual. So if the spell had like a minute on it, it'd be 11 minutes to cast, like the ritual version of it. But yeah, it does not use a spell slot. But it also means that the ritual version of the spell can't be like leveled up using spell slots to overcast, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Do bards have? I guess they must if they have spells in here.
I might switch out one of my spells later. I bet this is.
So
what I
every
was thinking.
time I wanna lock things down a little bit more. Like I don't want like every
No, I mean,
time you
I'll
can
know-
switch. Yeah,
I'll
you
know
can
by
before
Saturday.
Saturday. And
Yeah.
then beyond that, like in game, every time you level up, you can swap out an old spell for a different one if you want, which I think,
bards
allows
can
you
do
to.
that anyways.
It's every time you
Can that-
level though.
Can that work
Mhm.
for like clerics and cantrips? Or is that
It's
only for
not
bards?
technically supposed. It's supposed to work for spells level 1 and beyond. If you want to change cantrips later, I mean, like we can talk about it. If you're unhappy.
Yeah, I
with-
mean, I just have questions about some of these. I don't know how great they are or how ridiculous they are.
Sorry, I'm just checking something. Yeah, bards can ritual cast because there's a clause saying that if a class is capable of casting rituals, then they can. What questions do you have about cleric cantrips?
Right now, I'm just trying to figure out the best ones to have. So mending makes sense for my guy. I have guidance, light, mending, sacred flame, spare the dying,
How
thaumaturgy.
How many do you get? 2?
I get 3.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, mending story-wise makes
Perfect sense for him.
yeah. Like I can't see you not having mending.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, light is always useful. Even with dark vision, you're still kind of limited in, dark cavernous places to some extent if there's no light source. Resistance is pretty amazing.
Wait, what's... I don't have resistance in or OneNote.
It should be.
Oh, that's a guidance.
How?
Wait, how is that different?
Oh. Token roll a d4.
Those look like they're the same thing.
Yeah. What the fuck? Maybe there's an error in here.
How do cantrips work? I can just keep casting those. I mean, obviously you can only do one
Yeah.
per turn.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't consume anything.
So I can cast that, and then I can cast a spell, basically.
No.
Or can I only do one or the other?
Do one or the other. Like Ace's cantrips were like magic missile or like acid splash, like basically free spells.
Okay. So I couldn't like cast whatever the hell.
Oh.
I don't even know.
They do sound exactly the same, Dave. Guidance is like for guiding your attack. Resistance is for saving throws. So one's for an ability check and one's for a saving throw.
Cantrips are like spells, but they don't cost anything.
Yeah, but each spell has its own action type. So like, guidance takes 1 action, so that would use your action slot on your turn.
Right.
Okay.
And so it means you can only cast 1 spell per turn, basically.
And so casters can only do one. Basically, they can only do 1 action at a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And are there? Do you know of ways that you can make it so that they can cast up to 2 or more?
Haste?
I did.
That's what I'm wondering, because you
Yeah.
did, and I was like, how did you do that?
Yeah,
So,
haste, I guess.
On sorcerer, you had spell slots, so you could spend an amount of spell slots. So you could use like twin spell, for instance, which would do like 2 single casting spells at the same time.
Okay.
So I could be like, okay, I'm gonna acid splash 2 people in the face at the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, it was very specific. It was like you couldn't do like 2 fireballs at the same time because those were AOE damage.
Yeah, I mean, you can filter under, like, let's if I filter under Bard and then casting time, if I go to 1 bonus action instead of action, Healing Word is a Bard spell at level 1 that is a bonus action. Technically, you can cast that and a full spell if a full spell is an action, because that's the thing, right? Like I was kind of bringing it up before, or when I was talking to Dave a bit more, but like I need to put a thing in Fantasy Grounds. So there is combat actions. Let's see. Let me just get a link here. Actions in combat. I'll paste this in the thing from the wiki. I'll make a thing before we play on Saturday. But basically, like, we should have, like, if you imagine we were playing like an RPG video game, you'd have your action bar, like an MMO or something, right?
Right.
The one that should be on by default always are these actions in combat. Things that people almost never use. But essentially, in terms of resources, every round you have a move action, a generic action slot, and a bonus action, and a reaction slot. So there's 4 things. And technically you can consume all 4 of those every turn in any order, or any mix of order. Like, you can use half your move, use your action slot, and then use the other half of your move. This actions and combat thing is interesting because we almost always just use the general action slot for a spell or an attack. So you can see the first 2 things here are attack or cast a spell. Technically, you could take the dash action, which you did sometimes on Peck, but you got to use your bonus action for it because of your abilities. But that's basically letting you do a double move in sacrifice of like casting a spell or using an attack.
Gotcha.
But then there's a bunch of other stuff like disengage, which allows you to break away from someone who's on your ass without giving them an attack of opportunity. Dodging, which you're just entirely focused on avoiding attacks, which means every attack roll against you while you've taken the dodge action, they have to roll with disadvantage to try to hit you. Okay. There's the help action, where you lend your aid to another creature, like your friend, and you basically give them advantage to roll on that thing. There's the hide action, which you, again, have used on Peck to attempt to hide. And you get certain benefits from that, like, unseen attackers and surprise and stuff. And then there's readying an action, which is kind of delaying. And then searching, or using an object, or improvising or something. So there's a lot of basic things that can go into that single action slot. And then beyond that, every round you have a bonus, a reaction, and a move. So yeah, some spells, in your case only Healing Word, are considered a bonus action. I don't know if any are considered a reaction. Maybe not.
Ace had reaction spells.
Yeah, she had that
for sure.
Tiefling ability, which had her do like a reaction thing.
Yeah, like the fire thing.
Yeah. Bronzebeard, you were moving stats around last we spoke?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've settled on my stats. All my stats are set.
Did you already update them in game?
I did, correct. I also added some of my abilities that weren't fully fleshed out. So, hit points, you said it's a maximum. Clerics get a D8.
Yeah, so you get the 8 plus your con modifier, which is now 3.
3.
So it's
plus,
11. Yeah.
Plus.
Oh, plus Dwarven.
Yeah, which is 12.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good call.
Okay, so later on, I get other like I can have up to 5 cantrips eventually, so not a big deal. I was thinking I wanted one. Mending makes sense
Oh,
for
yeah, look at
him.
that.
Toll the Dead, I was thinking it's the sound of hammers that they hear, like on an anvil or something, and it deals 1d8 or 1d12 if they were already damaged.
Mm.
Kind of cool. And then that upgrades over time. And then I was thinking maybe either Light or Spare the Dying. Spare the Dying means that if anybody goes below 0 hit points, I can stabilize them without having to heal. Like, so before Palandor could do that with his bonus healing shit.
Mm.
I don't know if that's useful, how useful that is for us, or if that's something that could happen later on. Light seems like it could be pretty good, or Guidance.
Sorry, let me just look. What was here?
Thaumaturgy.
Spare
Thaumaturgy.
the dying.
Thaumaturgy. No, that
The
thermal.
old Therma. Turgy.
I mean, Spare the Dying is interesting. It's kind of like basically that's what a medicine check would come into play with too.
Oh, well, I'm proficient in medicine, so
I
maybe
mean,
that's
in
pointless.
this case, you don't have to roll for it, you know, in that critical moment. But
have like +5, and they'll have to roll 3 times anyway, so I'm sure I could try to stabilize them.
I'm sure you could.
I'll try my hardest, and that's not including any kind of like level 1 or 2 spells that do healing. So
maybe you take light because you're always like sort of lighting up your own workspace magically or something. Like, shine your light on while I work through the night on this whatever the fuck I'm crafting.
Yeah, that could work. Let's do that.
What?
I'm just trying to think like, I'm trying to think like, the history of the character and like why
No,
they
no,
might
sorry.
have taken a thing.
I didn't mean to be. I wasn't saying that to you. Sorry. I'm in my own head.
What? Share with us.
So sleep just makes creatures within 20 feet of the area I point in go into a magical slumber and also take a 5d8 damage.
Whoa.
I don't
that
know.
right?
Does it?
I didn't have that. That's insane.
Higher spell slot die d8. Yeah.
Wait, do you have spell slots as a bard?
Well, not necessarily slots. I get every now and then I get to learn more spells.
No. So what that means
What does
is,
that mean?
so you roll 5d8. Go ahead and, well, can you roll it? Here, I'll roll it for fun.
Yeah.
So say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 17. The total is how many hit points of creatures the spell can affect. Creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose are affected in ascending order of their current hit points, ignoring unconscious creatures. So if there were 2 guys, if they both had 10 hit points, only one of them would be put to sleep, and it would be the healthiest one, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So if there were 3 guys, like one with 10 hit points, one with 7, and then another with 10, like 2 of them would be asleep, the 10 and the 7.
Okay, that makes sense.
Wait, no,
okay.
sorry, it's the reverse. Sorry, it says starting with the creature that has the lowest hit points.
The highest one.
Yeah, it would be the most resilient. No, the lowest hit point one would be the one that sleeps first. So it basically takes out the weakest ones in order of strength.
Fucking alright, that's cool.
I don't think Ace had access to sleep. That's crazy.
Just sorceress.
So for 1 minute.
Maybe I did. Maybe I looked over it.
Bard, sorcerer, wizard.
For 1 minute, each creature affected by it, and it scales with level, right? You get an additional 2d8 for each level you scale it up. So.
Okay.
That's just to make sure it hits that one target, though, right?
Probably.
Or
Yeah.
the area of target.
Yeah. Yeah, that was rough on spells.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, so you basically you roll your 5d8 in this case, right? You start with the weakest guy in the area that your cast affects, and you pick the lowest hit point one. You knock them unconscious. You subtract their hit points, and that's how much power is left in your sleep spell. And then you go to the next lowest guy and see if he falls asleep, kind of thing. It's kind of cool.
I don't think Ace had that.
No, you didn't.
Or I looked over it. I probably totally looked over it.
It's available to sorcerers. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You're welcome, guys.
All right. Anyone dawdling on anything? What's up with our now flying monk?
What's going on?
How's it going?
I was looking for like how to put in, in under the actions,
Yeah.
how to add things like unarmored attack.
Oh
sorry,
yeah. I've
proficient
always I had to hack it before for another guy. I'll make you one real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question.
I'm just
Because I
gonna
use
make
my
like
talents.
I'm gonna make an item. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got the talents too. I'll make 2 versions of it.
Also, I have a portrait that I threw up on OneNote.
Cool.
I
have a
have a
name.
huge question.
Sure.
So this is probably why I didn't pick it. If somebody is asleep and I stab that person, they wake up, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't do
Better kill
anything,
him.
yeah, if you
Well,
don't do anything, then
Automatic crit, isn't it?
Disadvantage. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, you already had it working there, Kluk, for the talons anyway.
I ended up dragging that over, but that's yeah, I don't know how to.
So I
look
switched
that
it
up.
over to action mode under the bottom, combat and action mode.
Oh, okay. Oh. Action.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then
So it would just be 1d4 plus 4, right? I'd
Ooh.
have to add stat as.
Wait, what is it?
There it is.
You're proficient with unarmed strikes which deal 1d4 slashing damage on a hit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're trying to set it up. Okay, well, let me set it up proper then, like an actual weapon, if that's going to be like your main melee
Right.
kind of attack.
Well, that's the thing. Like with monks, they can attack with their regular weapon, and as a bonus action, they can also do an unarmed attack.
Yeah, I got you. Let me see.
Hey, is a Warhammer two-handed?
DC.
Probably, yeah.
Tin man have a sheet metal cock.
Are you bros there?
Sheet metal?
Hello?
Yeah, sheet metal.
Hello.
Oh,
Test.
Can you hear
What
me?
just happened?
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I hit a button on the back of my headset.
Hello.
Warhammer is versatile, but it doesn't say that it's two-handed.
Well,
Oh,
versatile
versatile means you can have both.
yeah, you can do either or.
Okay, I want that.
Yeah, and then, so
Please.
it's just different damage. Are you finesse based?
Hell yeah.
Is he finesse based?
Short swords are finesse.
Yeah, okay.
Does the Pope piss in his robes?
Whoa.
Oh,
His piece is rubbing on the inside of your armor.
with bards, because their main spellcasting modifier is charisma, if I take spells from other classes, do I take that spell's modifier, or do I use charisma?
I think you use charisma when it says
Oh
it. Yeah,
god,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that makes me so hard right now.
Spellcasting
Sorry.
ability, charisma.
Oh, dude.
Charisma is your spellcasting ability for your bard spells.
Yeah.
Your magic comes
Dude,
from
yeah.
your heart and soul, and your performance.
Okay.
You use charisma whenever a spell refers to your spellcasting ability. Yeah.
Then I want to switch at some point in time. I want to switch my strength, and my intelligence modifier.
You mean the stats you slotted?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just an 11 and a 12, but I
Yeah.
just want to flip those.
That's not. Oh, right. I would need a weapon that's unarmed because this
I'm making it
the
right now.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was like, wait, how do I roll the attack? Derp. You just make it like claws.
Yeah. Well, I'm making a talon attack and an unarmed attack.
Ooh, a talent. That's it. That's it. I can't not use my claws. Maybe my beak. I found this like sweet ass background too.
Oh yeah, I gotta make the bola too. I'll do that too.
The bola.
For
like a-
Casey.
Yeah, my
Nice.
ability. Or my weapon.
Is that the The ranged one where you like
Yeah.
have like the 3 rocks and you throw it and
Throw it,
trips
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going CC, man. I'm gonna go full CC. Throw it dragon
Nice.
wings.
It's funny. I'm also going CC.
CC it. You
Stun
later.
'em. Kyle's also going CC with the fucking like
Yeah.
hit it very hard and grapple it and trip it.
It's gonna be awesome.
Oh man.
And then we'll rely on the cleric to bash it dead.
Yeah, and then the cleric to finish everything off. Just walk up and
And heal us.
oh, so we
great.
don't have any like ranged attackers, like necessarily in the back of the bow kind of thing.
I have a whip. It's my main weapon.
That's
Guys, one minor problem is we're facing dragons, so maybe like some kind of range is a good thing.
They're
I can
susceptible
fly.
to
What
all
do
the
you
chain.
want from me?
I can fly and
And 2 in the morning, my brain just says dragons equal
oh, shit, is it
flying.
2? Oh fuck.
Oh,
I
shit.
will best him.
Whoops.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Why
be just
is
fine.
Updating.
Yeah, until we die.
Doesn't matter. This is hardcore mode, man.
I can be able to heal everybody who's running out of dragon.
What did you do for your healing spell? Did you do cure wounds or healing word or what'd you do?
I get to pick whenever. I get to pick
Okay.
every day of what I want.
That's right.
Pick every day.
The fuck?
Because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I might do cure wound. I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. Having more than one, I mean, because I only have a decent number of spells, but having someone else who can heal would be a good thing.
But I don't know if ranged healing is better or if touching somebody is a better heal.
Oh shit.
Well, for me, I can touch people
Yeah, you can.
because
I mean, I can touch
I
people
can get
too.
in that shit.
I
I'll
touch
have-
people with my song.
Dude, I'll have resting 19 AC at level 1.
Whenever I have 15 or whatever.
That's fucking nuts, man. That's just nuts.
Yeah, and then at level, like you said, at level 6, I get another +1 just
+1.
cuz.
Just cuz.
Yeah.
And at level 4, you're already probably gonna add the ASI, right? Ability score improvement.
Whatever, dude. You're a bird
But-
person.
But it doesn't matter.
Goddamn bird person.
Klug, it won't matter because I don't have dex armor.
Okay, there you go. That makes sense.
Well, oh shit, I need to look at the armor again because maybe dex armor is good. I have +2 to dex, so maybe that's that thing.
There was one armor that was really fucking awesome, right? Like Splint will start you off at AC 17. And with
What?
Shield, you could AC 19.
What?
Wait. But I don't know if Fiddy will let us start with
I don't
that.
think you start with splint from any class. Like only fighter, even fighters only
That's
get
insane.
the chainmail to start
Yeah.
with.
Oh, I don't know. It's
What
heavy armor. I don't know.
Oh,
But
because you
I
can
don't
only
know.
do scale.
Portals have-
14.
Turtles have 17 AC
No,
to
so
start
you,
with.
you can chainmail. That's AC 16.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Chainmail, I think, is the max. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can also do scale mail, which is medium armor, which is a dex modifier. If I ever
But-
put anything else into that,
Your dex is max 2. So, like, at the maximum scale can only ever be as good as chainmail. And chainmail is heavy, and you want heavy armor for that level 6 +1.
oh, true, touche. No, it is.
Dude, I would just straight up go for that splint mail. Start chain, and then go for splint as soon as you can afford it.
Does that look right to you, Klug? Talon attack, the 1d4 +4 piercing.
Yep, that's it.
Boom.
Wow, +6.
I mean, can you, Fiddy,
Hmm?
can you go over 20 AC?
Yeah.
Dude, magic
Okay.
items.
Do you just not get hurt? Like, what happens?
You fight dragons and then you die.
Yeah, they're like.
I'm in.
I have
Then you die.
advantage on everything that you do, so
God damn.
get fucking wrecked.
Fucking awesome.
So how does it work with the monk? With martial arts, you get as a bonus action, you can do the unarmed thing.
Yeah. So, like, I'll hit with a short sword, and then as a bonus action, I'll hit with my talon.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty dope.
Gotta do monk.
All right. All right, who needs tinkering?
I do.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I need. A light crossbow, I guess, or a simple weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a
Dwarves.
fucking crossbow, because you guys are going.
Cleric.
So.
Also using a katana, a short sword that's reskinned.
Are
I could use
you?
nunchucks.
So you're? Were you taking? Oh, you are
nunchucks?
taking a shield. Okay.
I could, yeah, dude. I could use
Yeah.
nunchucks.
Some
Two clubs
nut-
tied together with a
Yeah, those
string.
nunchucks.
Yeah, Fiddy, I'm doing shield because
Yeah.
it gives me that 2 AC, which is great.
Okay. So yeah, you'd have to actively not be like you'd have to have your shield over your back or whatever if you were doing the two-handed versatility swing.
So, hey, so I get Warhammer. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, versatility if I use 2 hands is 1d.
Right. And you may. There was that one. Maybe you could all have like one of those mundane items or something.
Like, what do you mean?
Or maybe we do that a little bit later. Maybe that'll be your first little fun thing. Well, I was just thinking there was one that like basically allowed you to attach like a thing to your weapon to make your weapon like a focus item for like a spellcaster.
Oh, mine
'Cause-
would be my hammer.
Because you'll probably need like a hand to be free, but yeah, the hammer as a focus makes sense for forge domain.
Yeah.
All right, well you got your hammer. You got oh shit, clerics can pick scale mail.
He can because he's a
Yeah.
forge domain.
Yeah, holy shit.
Wait, is scale mail better than chainmail?
Oh no,
Yeah, because it's heavy.
it's not though.
What?
I thought
It says
chainmail was
medium.
better.
It's got chainmail is better. Are you looking at a different type of? Are you talking about
Oh,
splint?
sorry.
Splint?
Sorry, I was thinking of splint. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah. Chain is better. All right, so you got that, and then yeah, do you want? I mean, you can pick whatever for a range weapon. It doesn't have to be a light crossbow. But
I'm at the point of not giving a fuck. So,
Darts.
I mean, I feel like a crossbow makes sense. If I have to use 2
Yeah.
hands, I feel like. I mean, what's the difference between a light crossbow and a heavy crossbow? Apart
One
from
of them weighs a
I get
lot more.
1d10.
yeah, I mean, I think it's just damage.
If it's just damage, why would I not take the heavy?
Yeah, I imagined you more with like a heavy crossbow.
As a dwarf, it kind of makes.
Yeah, and you crank and tinker things, so
All right, let's do it.
done.
Do I need to add ammo and shit?
I'll add some bolts.
I think it says I start with 20.
Boom. Okay.
And then dude, I don't know. I guess I start with some money, or I get. Oh, I should pick a language. Oh, that was what I was gonna ask.
Well, you know, I mean, let's circle back to the start of this all for my own needs before Saturday. So we've got the Harpers in the Order of the Gauntlet. You all seemed keen on the idea of having relations with one, if not
Oh.
both.
Both.
Order of the Gauntlet.
I want relations with both.
Hmm.
I feel like Order of the Gauntlet at least is.
Yeah.
The
Well,
the gauntlet.
well, honestly, like the people that you'll come to know for the Gauntlet and the Harpers both will the two of them have allied together with their sights on this current sect of the cult in this area, in the Greenfields area, which kind of encompasses Greenest and some of the other spots. So I don't think it's too far of a stretch for you all to be, because for both Peck or Peck, for the Bard and for the
Gives
monk,
him a name yet. It's okay.
for the Bard and for the Bard and the monk, it makes a hell of a lot of sense for them to be in with the Harpers.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was playing.
And honestly, it makes a hell of a lot of sense for the dwarf
Cleric?
and the giant to be in with the Order of the Gauntlet. And both of these factions are working pretty closely together. I don't think it would be. I think we'd have maybe just enough connective tissue. I mean, well, this is open discussion. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
And
Mhm, mhm.
dwarves are slow to trust. That's all I'm saying. But I mean, I'm sure
But
we
you got
could be
that.
acquaintances, and that would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
we could talk about how, like maybe
Dude.
maybe like a lot of you have been like the order folks have been sent. Like you just received message like back at your base or whatever, wherever that is. You've just received word from your guy Anthar Froome has just received word from his connection in the Harpers, which you may or may not know. You just know that his connection has sent intel to you that they're expecting the cult of the dragon to be targeting this town where you all have allies, and they've sent you to meet with this head monk who's going to be you're going to be a pupil of Klug,
Yep.
and along with some of his pupils, and among them will be Klug and Casey's character. So the Order
Okay.
folk would be sent to this town, probably with maybe a couple others, to help prepare to defend the place, but also meet up with your bosses, basically, contacts.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah? Yeah?
That's fair
Awesome.
enough.
Okay.
Set up.
Alright. Alright. I mean, I think for the most part, I got what I need. We could.
Well, I have a question. I have
Wait,
one
I have.
question.
I have a
Yeah, no, I
question
mean,
too.
I'm here.
Okay.
I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Question
Go
me.
ahead, dude. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Well, I have to pick a language because I'm doing the artisan background, and
Okay.
so I speak Dwarvish and Common. I don't know what another language a dwarf would know. Like, I mean, Elvish kind of makes sense, but fuck if I know. Like, if they would they know?
Well, I mean, like
Draconic,
I would
like,
tie it into
dragon
your profession, right? Like what?
That's what I mean. Is like, what's the second most common language apart from Common?
Hmm.
What's the most common language aside from Common?
Oh, around this area, greenest.
I mean, just like if he's selling shit. Would
I
want
think
to-
Klug knows.
Hmm.
All right, Klugleton, hit me with that
What do you-
lore.
What do you think,
What?
Klug?
Oh, really?
Yeah, say it.
Oh well. They're all humans, so common.
No. Oh
Obviously.
my God, you already said Greenilton.
Ugh.
Okay.
I missed it. If you know something I don't.
But you said Greenilton. It was awesome.
No, greenest from
Oh.
greenest.
Yeah, green, whatever. Whatever the fuck town we're in. Greenest.
Yeah. Yeah, we're speaking greenest.
Let's
it.
see.
Oh, Finny's
I'm
like, no.
I'm gonna take this as I'll figure it out.
Yeah, let's figure it out later. I mean, I don't know.
green
Like,
tea.
I would say it depends on if it's more about like researching stuff. Draconic has some value, but so does Elvish, really. In terms of like, languages that you are more likely to. I would say probably Elvish. I mean, it's probably something that you would hear in passing all the time in your travels, and it would also have a very strong connection to interesting old artifacts, items, and things that maybe you'd
Perfect.
study.
I know Elvish. That's
I mean, Draconic is probably a close second for similar reasons, but it's way, way less common for you to hear it
I know
spoken.
Draconic. You can talk to me,
I know
baby.
draconic.
Other than some of like the Dragonborn people who walk among some of the good cities, like you wouldn't come across it that often until recently, maybe.
I'll think about
All
it.
right,
Doesn't
Casey,
matter.
who is
Yeah.
in full recline mode. Let's get you
Oh,
in
yeah,
before
dude.
you're
Going night-night.
Rip Van Winkling.
Get you upright.
Okay, so I was gonna say Fairy Fire gives my team advantage, and it makes the person whoever has it on them, it makes them fail dexterity saves.
But you also cast
It's
it
a
on
concentration.
everyone, friend or foe.
Oh,
Oh.
Everything within a 20-foot cube has
that's a cute.
draping little purplish, pinkish, twinkling
Okay,
bits
we'll
of
think
light
about this
around
a
them.
little more.
Dude, your
I mean,
saves
it
are
can
hard.
still be amazing. I mean, you could
No,
you
I
could,
know.
you could cast
Those are
that on.
way
You
hard.
could sneak it. You could cat walk in, fucking fairy fire a whole camp full of people before your friends even get in there.
Yeah, because I'm gonna change some of
Same
my,
with
my
sleep.
spells around. Like I'm gonna get rid of Thunderclap from my cantrips. I might do like a minor illusion instead.
Okay.
But I'm gonna
Yeah,
iron that
anything's
out.
anything's moddable until we start playing
I
Saturday.
will just say, as a former Ace player, Minor Illusion served us very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very well.
Yeah, I was gonna. I might do that one, and I might.
Different strokes.
I'll probably change out.
I mean, that's from Ace's perspective.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll probably change out
Well worded.
one of my other abilities that I have right now. Oh fuck, I don't know. Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
All right, marinate on it a little bit.
Yeah.
You got the
I gotta
broad
go to
strokes
bed
down on here.
for my body.
Yeah.
Fuck my body.
More questions. What else
We're
we
old
got?
men now, Ace.
Anyone else?
Yeah. So I'm playing as a defector.
Okay.
Who's like someone that Spy already met, who wants out of the order.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I liked that. I mean, I think it works just as fine. Like if you had, I mean, the cult is definitely from your experience, like trying to actively recruit and turn people onto joining them. You know, like very much like Scientology. You know, like maybe they don't seem that bad at the moment, but it quickly became clear that
Oh, that dog is out.
She's gonna keep you entertained.
My God.
For a minute. Just don't move, Foxy. Just
She doesn't even know that she's the focus
Just
of attention.
do you, dog?
There you
go. Just do yourself.
So yeah, active recruitment.
But like the cult of the dragon, the dragon cult,
Mhm.
cult of the dragon are the bad guys.
Yeah, I mean, you once you join them, or like whether maybe I don't know if you join them willingly or not. After some time with them, however you became acquainted, you know, they very much became clear to you that they had more darker goals in mind.
And then
You
I
know.
didn't know, I couldn't get out of it until
Yeah, and
this-
then you came across, like, you started to notice this half elf who was acting a bit strange to you.
How long has he been in this order? Like for
I
years?
think I would say no, not at all. Like I would say he had only infiltrated one of their smaller encampments where you were, like very recently, or at least within the past month or two. And he had only he was very much in disguise. Like when you saw him outside of that, like you didn't even know he was a half elf or like this monk character or a member of the Harpers. Like you thought he was like tried and true. Like he was very well disguised within the cult originally. So
But then as a person who's in the cult though, he is trying to, he's not just like the janitor, right? He's trying to like work his way up through the ranks.
Yeah, I mean, like he was in the disguise of like an initiate.
Yeah. Okay. So
Maybe
then,
I guess you would have to decide if you had gone to them willingly, maybe naively. And it's very clear. Like they'd probably go from town to town, putting on this display of you know, not necessarily being evil on the surface. You know.
Yeah. Oh shit! What if I accidentally recruited him? Turns out he's a spy, and I was like, fuck. But then I, came around. He started teaching monk stuff, and then it's like, I'm leaving with you. Once they know he's a spy, it's my fault. He's
I can
in the
imagine
organization. I'm just gonna leave anyway.
New recruits, new acolytes into the cult probably get put on fucking bitch duty at the conventions. They have to sit at the booth and hand out the pamphlets, and you know, talk to people. And maybe he saw you as like this very clearly naive and sort of young person, so maybe he used you to like. For like, I'm totally interested in blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you brought him back to the camp or whatever, along with a couple other recruits.
Totally perform sexual favors for you in exchange for secrets. And then he was using you the whole time.
But I'm like, but I'm a bird person.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
You're part bird. You have a cloaca.
Ooh, that's true. That's a hard beak.
I will, outside of this chat, I will send you some insider information on how the cult is structured a little bit.
Right.
Stuff that you Klug, and no, it's just for
Right.
Klug's
Well, I'll
background.
take it too. You know,
Yeah.
just send it my way, and I'll process it.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been in
Yeah.
this room for so long, it smells like farts.
Oh yeah.
Is it because of fucking Foxy?
Me? No. Definitely because of me.
Oh, okay.
I won't blame her for my doing.
But she has to suffer for it.
Dude, whatever, she loves it. Dogs love the smell of farts.
Awesome.
They
Oh,
do.
shit.
They
Yeah.
do. Let's
I
get
gotta go to
real.
bed. They really do.
Yeah.
But that was awesome.
Alright,
I learned a lot.
we gotta
I'm
get
also
Baines.
very
Yeah.
nervous. I have a lot
Yeah.
to learn.
Everyone's good for Saturday.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
9:30ish.
I think
Look,
so.
I'll just say even earlier if you guys are on. Say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Yeah. I mean, I got the whole day off, so.
I'm
Yeah.
off.
What is that? Like New Year's Eve? Fuck it. Let's go.
No, New Year's Eve is the next day.
New Year's Eve's the
Oh.
next day.
Oh, it's the day before. Let's go. No, we're not doing anything. What's up?
I am free any time Saturday.
Yeah, me too. Because we are nerds, and this is what we do.
I'm kinda not, cause I'm at my family's house.
Yeah.
You tell those people.
Listen, I'm a nerd, you motherfuckers.
Yo, I got a bard right now.
All right. Well.
I'm out. See you, sexy bitches.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, KZ.
User disconnected
Bye-bye.
from your channel.
Eric
Cool.
Kokra movement. What is this?
Alright, guys, I'm out.
Supposed to leave too, but thank you very
Man,
much.
Dude.
I'm ready. My body's
Cool.
ready, and I'm glad you've accepted my giant gargantuan self.
Oh yeah. Send me artworks and stuff, or we'll talk.
Look,
we'll talk
Tomorrow, I'm gonna animate a character of myself.
Whoa. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey now.
What's happening?
Hey now.
Thought I was gonna be that
Oh,
turtle,
cool.
but
I
I'm
see
not.
I see your OneNote arts there, Klug. I like.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Alright, I'm out.
Sweet. All right.
Later,
Well,
dude.
yeah. Hit me up between now and Saturday if you have any more questions or anything.
Okay.
Later.
Peace.
Laters.
User disconnected from your channel. Disconnected.